And so, could it be Halloween? Yeah, the old October has come and gone, unfortunately. But on this last day of October, on this All Hallows Eve, we are going to take a look at some first-person horror games, as the title card would suggest. And, of course, the first one we're going to be taking a look at is Fear Extraction Point. Now, I first played the old Fear on the Xbox 360. And there are a couple differences between the 360 version and the PC version. In some respects, I kind of like the 360 version a little more than the PC version. The graphics aren't quite as good, but I really like the instant action mode they had for that thing. Now, of course, the expansion pack here is not that well optimized. One thing that's kind of annoying. Actually, let's fix that audio. Bump that up just a little bit. And hello, Caleb. Let's pop that up a little bit, because if it's quiet for me, I'm sure it must be quiet for all of you. There we go. Let's hope we can actually have some audio there. But yeah, this doesn't have like native 1080p. You gotta go edit the INI for that. It's like, come on. And it doesn't make any sense either, because Fear 1 has the ability to play it in 1080. And Persius Mandate does, but not this. So like, I do not get it. So yeah, Fear. It's a interesting little franchise. Most of the games aren't very good. Fear 1 is great. Fear 2 is pretty bloody generic. Fear is Fear. And the expansions, I never really played altogether that much of. I didn't play them until I got the Fear collection. And one of the things you can do is you can, of course, listen to phone messages and things of that nature. Which works, but it's just like, I always feel like the story isn't taken that seriously more than anything else. Now, that guy was an idiot. Now, one thing that was also kind of funny was the fact that in the first game, or on the Xbox 360 version, I should say, on the first game, there was some product placement for the Dell XPS laptop. I remember those. Like, you could get like some sort of information off of them, but they were Dell laptops. I will never forget that, because around that time I really wanted to buy an XPS laptop for some reason. You know, this was slightly before I really got back into PC gaming and really kind of relearned PCs, because I was out of that for a while. So it's like, oh, get me a Dell laptop, those things will be really fast. But hey, whatever. Ironically enough, I think it was actually that same year I finally relearned PCs, and so I would go on to actually build my first gaming PC that year. And what a gaming PC it was! I mean, the specs are kind of laughable by today's standards, but for 2008, well, you know, I say they were laughable, but, you know, obviously they wouldn't have been, you know, super amazing, because I didn't have that kind of money back then, but I still was able to play Enemy Territory Quake Wars. And yeah, I know that's a multiplayer game. Never once played it multiplayer. I only ever played it single player. In fact, that was the only reason I got it. Was for single player, right? At the time, I was like, multiplayer, fuck that shit. Who wants to play that? But yeah, that game worked quite well. Dawn of War 1 worked quite well. I got the Dawn of War Platinum Pack. And it worked really amazingly, actually. So, and hello, Thresh Lord. Let's see what I was saying. So it worked quite amazingly. And then finally, you know, Crisis. I was able to run that on all high, at the second lowest screen resolution. So it's like 1264 by something or other. I was proud of that, at least at that time. These days, though, Crisis is not particularly well optimized for modern-day PCs, which makes me very, very old. Do I want the rifle? Do I want the SMG? Actually, you know what? As much as I do love my pistols, I do enjoy having a rifle just a little bit more. Let's see, how much MP5? Not a lot. I actually switched to the old Spaz 12. The Spaz 12. You know, people love that shotgun, and I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, I've heard there's a lot of parts breakages on that thing, to the point where it's like, just get a bloody Mossberg, or barring that, a Maverick 88. I was actually tempted to get a Maverick 88 8-shot until I got that cheapo Chinese that actually is better than a American-made one, sadly enough. Yeah, I normally stream later, but I'm gonna be busy tonight, and I have time and I have time right now, so I do intend to try to stream a little earlier next month, so that people who are in those, you know, heretical time zones, those weird time zones, can actually see one of these live and possibly join the Discord chat. Because that's the problem with me doing it 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock for me is like 6 in the morning for some of you, so you're kind of screwed on that one. Oh, crap. Really? Only 2 ghost hits? That's just not fair. See, though, they never really explain where these ghosts even come from. I mean, I get that the point man ain't afraid of no ghost, but it's like, why is Alma this powerful? And if she was that powerful, how did they control her to begin with? It's just, Fear, I think, had a lot of really big missed opportunities. Being so focused on Alma all the goddamn time. It's like, the box, at the very least, kind of implied that the first encounter assault recon force did more than just fight Alma. Stream. Kill Kills OSTs of songs in English and German? I did not know that. The only reason I know that Kill is even a thing is from the various weebs that I am friends with these days. Honestly, that does not sound like an anime that's my thing. The only anime that's modern that I'm really looking forward to finally sitting down and watching is Goblin Slayer. And that's just because it looks a lot like a what a Dark Souls anime would look like. And happy Halloween, internet junk. Fear is a classic, but it could have been better. It should have been better. But it's one of those where people just kind of... I think that Fear is the video game equivalent of a B-movie. Actually, no. Fear is the equivalent of a B-movie where no one really cared that much. Actually, I take that also back. I'm trying to explain, because, like, B-movies... You could technically say that Alien was a B-movie, and it was actually treated somewhat seriously. I guess you could really say that Fear is indeed the equivalent of a horror franchise that didn't know when to stop, and didn't really know what it was doing, although Fear was much less limited in concept than a lot of horror movies are. You know, because, like, Halloween doesn't need a sequel. Now, Halloween 2018 worked. Stereo. Now, of course, what's kind of funny is I always considered him sort of like the Fear equivalent of Sergeant Johnson. He even kind of looks and sounds like him. And I think that's what they were trying to go for. But Fear, you know, you could have had different, and you should have had different, you know, supernatural enemies to fight, but all you ever got was Alma. So it just, there's a lot of a lack of imagination when it came to Fear. Now, in terms of gameplay, it's great. But don't expect a deep story. This has a story that pretends to be deep, but isn't. Everything about it is superficial, because it all comes down... Because it doesn't make any sense when you actually put it all together. And there's not really any nuance to it. It's just... It's Alma. Alma is basically female Cthulhu. That's it. That's all you get. And so that's kind of disappointing in that regard. Eventually, I actually have seen the first season of Fist of the North Star. And, yeah, I guess you could say it's sort of like John Woo mixed with The Grudge, but it just doesn't have... It doesn't have the depth that one would want. It pretends like it does, because it's like, oh, you can listen to phone conversations, but they lead nowhere, and it's worth absolutely nothing. And so... it's disappointing in that regard, and then the end of the series. What's kind of funny is in terms of plot, Fear doesn't really advance itself altogether that much. Because you have Fear 1, these expansion packs are non-canon, like completely and totally non-canon. So, you got Fear 1, Fear 2 takes place a few minutes after Fear 1, and then Fear 3 takes place like a week afterwards. And then the plot just doesn't make a lot of sense. You got Armacam that somehow has enough... Armacam gets more and more power as time goes on to the point where it's utterly ridiculous. Because it's like, okay, wait a minute. How does Armacam have access to its own mercenary army and is somehow able to nuke... a major American city with no repercussions? Now remember, everything is supposed to be taking place in the then modern era of 2005. Okay, like... I don't really think that any corporation, not even Google, is going to have enough power to have their own mercenary army alongside, you know, the ability to just destroy American cities without any repercussions whatsoever. It's just, that's when it got a bit ridiculous. Well, more than a bit. Then you had the giant mechs. It's like, well, where were those? Now, mechs are in the early Fears, but even then... Fear is really all over the place in terms of its plot. It really, really is. Yeah, it does need to be kept a bit simple of just shoot, don't think too much about it. Which, to me, kind of sucks. They could have at least tried to... I feel like they should have tried a little harder. Been a bit of a try-hard, you know? I mean, you could have had Alma be the first game, then some sort of other threat come about in the second game, and just go on like that. But I think the people behind the game just didn't really care that much. Oh, that's one of the big problems with horror movie sequels in general, is that most of the time the people that are making the sequels don't really care that much. Just look at the drop in quality between Halloween 1 and the original Halloween 2. Halloween 2 really wasn't very good, and it was just kind of a trend chaser. Friday the 13th Part 2, I guess you could say it was halfway decent. But when it comes to a lot of horror movies, like the first movie is considered the most legendary one, the other ones are just considered cheap cash-ins, and well, that's because that's what they are. None of that stuff was meant to be taken that seriously, and then it's like it made a lot of money, and so it's like, we have to keep making them to make more money. BioShock worked pretty well, but then BioShock is basically just a name. Because if you notice, BioShock 2, you know, it kind of followed up on it, but it was still just kind of a lazy cash-in sequel. Then BioShock 3, or Infinite, really had very little to do with BioShock 1. It's not like the various Halo games, where each game leads into the next. Which is always a bit of a problem when you have game franchises that just aren't quite as serious as they could be. Where System Shock is more alive than BioShock. Well, that is kind of hilarious in many instances. That BioShock, which was meant to be the successor, is now succeeded by the thing it was supposed to succeed. But why am I not surprised? Prey 2017 was probably my favorite BioShock-styled game. That was actually one of the few modern games that I've actually enjoyed in recent years. Because finding a game that I'll actually want to play till 6 in the morning is very difficult. Very, very difficult indeed. I'd see it for a while. I would be very surprised. Actually, there is one other game, but it doesn't really apply in the same vein as, say, Prey. Because Prey had a great story. It actually had a lot of depth to it. But Amid Evil is one of the few games that I've played this year that I actually really, 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 really enjoyed. I just finished that the other day, and I can't wait for it to finally be finished. My God, that frame rate. There are different tweaks you can get for Extraction Point, but honestly, I've just been too lazy. It's still playable enough, and bleh. But it's only really Extraction Point that runs crappy. I do not understand it. Fear 1 works just fine. Fear Persius Mandate works great. This, I have no idea why it doesn't work as well as the other ones. Come on, blow 'em up! Ah. Hoping I can get him to explode into a blood puddle. Come on, Blum. It just works so randomly. First person. Prey 2017. Well, I think you really will enjoy Prey 2017 if you like System Shock 2. Oh yeah, that new Call of Cthulhu thing. I have not really paid that much attention to it. Well, I feel that Prey 2016 and 2006 are just two different games. I think, in all reality, Prey 2017 only used that name, I think, just for the marketing. Because people still remember Prey 2006, but it's like people are very afraid of anything new when it comes to their IPs. You know, it's like, oh, we gotta have a name. We'll call it Doom and set it, you know, like in the Old West, and have you play as a sheriff. Because that's pretty much what what happens in Prey 2017. It's like it's set in a completely different universe with completely different characters, no portals to be found, and instead of a Native American, you play as an Asian guy. So yeah, it's like might as well be like setting Doom in the Old West. Sheriff Doomslayer, huh? Sheriff Slayer. Come on. Actually, I'll probably save my. Fall back. Just chuck grenades. Now, I'm only going to play this till the next transfer point, because then I want to load up Persius Mandate. Alas, that was not true. Yeah, Prey will continue. Well, that's the question. If Marvel goes broke because they're getting woke, what's going to happen? Will Thanos ever return? Yeah, they just have the same name. That's it. I mean, it's basically Sheriff Doomslayer. God damn it. Well, that was actually just kind of charging at him. That was not a good idea. Well, you know, you can link them together via bullshit if you wanted to. And I can almost guarantee you they might at least be thinking of wanting to. It's like, well, you know, technically, since Prey 2017 is set in a universe, you know, maybe he can get there via the portals, you know? I mean, you never know. That could happen. You never know if they want to try to make some money. And hello, Corey Cox. Alright, let's see if we just can't kill this guy. Thump, thump, thump. Nope, that's not a good idea. Aliens or enemies. Well, you know, Prey 2017 also has a lot of alien vibes to it with the mimics. Actually, I don't know if they're called that. What's rather amusing is the fact that the enemies in Prey 2017, and man, that's a really difficult thing to say, is the fact that the enemies have a lot in common with some aliens from a film called Edge of Tomorrow. They look kind of the same. Oh, they really are called mimics? Okay, then what are the aliens called in Edge of Tomorrow then? Because they look the same, they act the same. The only thing they don't have is the time travel. And yeah, I'm going to be trying to do some earlier streams so that those of you in those weird time zones can actually see some of them in real time. Come on, throw! Really? I just blew myself up? Brilliant. Edge Tomorrow was a enjoyable film all around. I highly recommend seeing that. It's a great little sci-fi thing that really surprised me with its quality. Now, it's Hollywood sci-fi, so expect a bit of silliness. Like the fact that they've got those mech suits, but they really are quite unprotected. But I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt simply because it's one of the last roles of Bill Paxton, who sadly died, I think, 2 years ago. Ooh, did I finally get him? Yep. Headshot. Always loved the Penetrator, even if it doesn't make that much sense. Hey, that only happened once, Psychic. That only happened once. It doesn't count. Save. The point man himself could use a little more characterization. I mean, the most character he got in between Fear 1 and Fear 3 was a beard. That's it. And that really... It doesn't even make any sense for him to not talk. And then as you learn more of the point man, it's like, wait a minute, why did this stuff not come up until now? It seems like a lot of bullshit. It seems like a lot of retconning. But as with so many things, I think they didn't think that this was going to get altogether that popular. So it's like, well, we need to have, you know, like a backstory and motivations. And the point man, he's actually brothers with the villain because they talk to each other. And yes, the old Fear. Specifically, Fear Extraction Point. The first of the expansions that sadly doesn't run very well. You know, maybe instead of being dramatic, you know, you could say it's like, well, it looks like, you know, a werewolf. Or at least describe it in some way. What can it do? Did you even see anything? Or was it just a shadow? You could at least try to help a little bit. That exit sign looked amazing. Come on, smack over the door. Now, I think there's like something... What's shooting at me? Oh, one of those turrets. Wouldn't you love to work at a business where, like, there's a chance where one of these turrets could malfunction and literally just mow down the entire office? Because that's safe. That is totally OSHA compliant. I got stuck on the wall. Wait a minute, I got the ability to slow down time. Come on, and throw it, point man. Aw, oh, come on. There we go. He's like, what happens, like, if the fucking Windows XP that they're running on, like, gets hacked? You know, then what are they gonna do? Actually, they're probably not even running Windows XP at this point. If this is 2005, they're probably running... Still probably running Windows 98. Or hell... Even worse, they're running Windows 95. Smack open the... Oh, I remember this part. I think like a helicopter shows up. The AI is still pretty good in this. Much better than what you get these days. You know, like these days, everything has got to be so easy and accessible. And it's like, it's not that hard. Just fucking quick save. That is Point Man's real power. The power of the quick save. Now, not everything modern is particularly bad, though. There's some modern-day AVP books that I've recently discovered called The Rage War. There's 3 books. It's a 3-book trilogy. I'm reading book 1. It's book 1's Predator Incursion, book 2's Alien, and this is the most imaginative title of all time, Invasion. And the last one is AVP Apocalypse. So far, it's pretty good. They actually call the Predators the Yachtja. Now, the setting's a little different. You still got Weyland-Yutani. You still got a lot of the stuff that you would know to expect. But it's a little more hard SF, and it's set in the 27th century versus the 22nd. But all told, I'm finding it to be fairly well written. Characters are genuinely likable, which is a bit of a problem with a lot of fiction these days. Especially anything sort of like military science fiction-wise. Classic Doom, Heretic, and Hexen. Ah, the old Doomsday source port. Now that's the one with the 3D models, right? At least that's what I think that is. Oh, come on, Point Man. I could jump that. And that's another thing about Fear that doesn't really make a lot of sense. How are they cloning these troops? Like, what technology allows them to do this, exactly? And, like, the other God damn, I got shot in the back. Mod for those models. Okay, that's what I thought. It's like, what technology allows them to clone these troopers? I mean, this isn't the Old Republic here. It doesn't really make a lot of sense that they can actually do that. It's one of those things like, can they just do that? How? Because like cloning is not an easy prospect, and then it's like when you think about like the cost-benefit ratio there, it's like they're gonna have clone troopers for mercs, right? You realize that that's not really gonna be that cost-effective. And to put it bluntly, there's plenty of warm bodies that would have absolutely no problem being paid to shoot people. Just saying. No cloning needed. Like, yeah, there's loyalty issues and things of that nature, but when it comes to mercs, so long as you pay them on time, generally that's all you gotta worry about. Just saying. Oh, 3D is optional? Okay, I did not recall. Just go with it. You know, I don't have to go with it. I fucking review video games. And so I'm gonna make fun of it. And then it doesn't make... The thing is, Fear 1 at least makes it somewhat plausible. It's like, okay, you know what, clone troopers, alright, fine. But, Fear 2, it's like, oh, now we have clone troopers that can teleport. What? You literally have made okay, you have somehow discovered instantaneous site-to-site teleportation. And your chosen use is, let's use it to shoot people. Yeah, you realize that with that level of technology, you basically have just made most warfare obsolete, right? Right? Because, like, you could just, you know, like, teleport, like, a grenade into a tank. Oh, dear. Dearie me. But, you know what? It's a Vigigam, and you just kind of gotta go with it, I suppose. But I'm gonna make fun of it anyway. Now, I remember this part being somewhat annoying because I couldn't figure out where to go. That's one of the problems with Fear. Well, I think it's not that big of a problem, because it does make you feel good when you finally find where to go, but there's always a chance you'll end up wandering around. And, like, the clone troopers also seem a bit inconsistent. It's like, they're supposed to be really dumb, and yet, why do they even know how to swear? They act just like normal troops. I think that might have been, like, something late in development. And Paxton Fettel does not strike me as someone who would talk quite a bit like these guys do. Crap. Looks like they're shooting. I am so dead, because I am, like, totally in a kill zone right now. Kill zone 2. Electric Boogaloo. Yeah, there he is. Okay, let's charge over here, use the old super reflexes. Try to shoot that guy down. And succeed. I'm just gonna, like, blow through, like, all of my health kits. And got shot. Alright, let's try this one more time. Now, after this mission here ends, what I intend to do is do a little bit of Persius Mandate. Not much, because there's one game I really want to play for the stream. And that, of course, is the Event Horizon Doom 3 mod. That is something that I heard of a while back, but never got around to playing, and it looks like it's going to be pretty good. I mean, Event Horizon is not one of those films you would think would have a video game. And in the era that it came out, it honestly would probably be a game that would... The game a movie like that would probably get would be some sort of point-and-click adventure game, not a first-person shooter, mainly because there wasn't much shooting to be done in Event Horizon. There was, like, the ship, and the ship was possessed by a demon. Okay, so there's not much to really shoot. Now, like, you can have, like, the demon ship, like, spawn, you know, like, little demons, but still. That's really not what happens in the movie. Shit. They do like to flank in this game, that is for sure. Oh, yeah, there he is. Get to the container! Smack him! Don't really need a portable turret at the moment, but I do need to slow down time yet again and just completely riddle him. Shit. Only like one guy gets even shot in Event Horizon, and that's with like a not Dark Souls, a Dead Space styled mining weapon. Let's see. Try to teach. Says nothing. Says they like shit and they'll say it. Actually, that's pretty hilarious. Alright, let's try this for the billionth time now. This game can get somewhat difficult, especially when you're not paying 100% attention to it. Aha! There we go. Now, I don't know how many of you actually have even heard of or have read any of Warhammer... Well, Warhammer. I'm always used to saying 40k, but Warhammer Fantasy was a series that sadly died off a few years ago. The G-Dubs, or Games Workshop, basically went and said that, like, Warhammer Fantasy wasn't selling enough models, so they just completely phased out the entire series, which was quite annoying, because Warhammer Fantasy was by far my favorite fantasy series of all time. It's actually one of two things that got me into fantasy to begin with. That and Dragon Age Origins, before BioWare died and became BioWoke. But Warhammer Fantasy is basically, imagine a darker Tolkien. Like, you got pretty much everything that Lord of the Rings would have, you know, like elves, dwarves, and all the rest, but everything's like way more hardcore. And the first ever fantasy book I fully read as an adult was Gotrek and Felix Troll Slayer. And I gotta tell you, I got hooked on that Gotrek and Felix series. And as of yesterday, I finally read the final book in the series. And I gotta say, you know, for the final penultimate book ever, it really wasn't very good. I mean, when you have like all these beloved characters killed off. Now, the thing is, Gotrek, which is like a really, really legendary character in his own right, he got a good death. One of the few legendary characters to actually get a good death. And no, I have not played Space Hulk. Black Mirror. I must be thinking of Dark Mirror, that TV show. Or is that Black Mirror? I don't remember. See, the thing is, like, it's easy to get confused because there's actually a Star Trek book called Dark Mirror, although it has absolutely nothing to do with the latter-day Mirror universe. It's literally just a TNG rehashing of the TOS Mirror universe, with Troy actually being, you know, competent. Although she turns into more like a psyker than anything else. But Gotrek gets a good ending, Felix not so much. In fact, Felix gets a pretty depressing ending, but I suppose that's to be expected because end times. I think 40k might be heading towards an end times-like scenario. I mean, they brought back Rowboat Girly Man, which I don't really have a problem with because I actually liked old Rowboat. But, you know, I just get the feeling that G-Dub is becoming a bit woke. I mean, if you ever look at, I think like Arch Warhammer or Arch Warhammer or something like that, he covers that more than I do. And also there's an Australian guy whose name I can't remember, who also covers 40k stuff. But 40k I never liked as much as Warhammer Fantasy, mainly because 40k not much really happens. It's just like Eternal War, and that's about it. Whereas it always felt like Warhammer was heading towards a much more positive ending than it got. And I still like a variety of things in 40k. It's just outside of the Caiaphas Cain series, or Cyphus, or Caiaphas, or however the fuck you pronounce Blackadder Cain. Let's just call him that. Outside of Blackadder Cain, everything just felt kind of depressing. My favorite books are in that particular series. Specifically, Death and Glory, or Death or Glory. That, even if you're not a big fan of 40k, I would recommend reading just because the characters are great. The overall plotline is really quite compelling. I mean, it's Cain having to go across an entire continent filled with orcs. I mean, what's not to like about that? And yeah, I've seen a couple of Black Mirror episodes. The one where like somebody's like husband dies, and so they like use their social media post to make a robot. That is scarily accurate to what's probably going to happen in our lifetimes. You know, it's fucking social media robots. And of course I saw the USS Callister one as well, which was quite good as well. Okay, I do not know where I'm supposed to go. So you know what? We're going to switch to Persius Mandate. The old Persius Mandate. You know, I did not play that until very, very recently, and its plot makes even less sense. I mean, it just so happens that Fear has an operative that somehow is able to, you know, have super reflexes somehow. Yeah, could be. Alright, let's check the old audio here. Yeah, that should be fine. Alright, let's go to the old single layer. Now, I've not actually played much in this. I just reinstalled it. I was actually playing Extraction Point the other day just for fun. So that's why we're actually part of the way through it. But as more and more human-like robots become mainstream, I don't know what that's going to do. Probably nothing, honestly. I have a much more positive outlook on... we're going to skip the story sequence, mainly because this is all non-canon. Those propellers could look a lot better, just saying. And that plane looks pretty crappy, even for 2005.
Looks like we set you down in the middle of things. It's going to be a hard slog to the data center.
And they just happen to have even more clones. Toy AI, possibly. I do find it funny that small soldiers from the late 90s kind of was a bit pre-innocent on that. I don't really think that you could just put, you know, a missile-controlled ship into an action figure and have it somehow come to life, though. That does seem a bit silly, but hey, it was the 90s. It's just kind of what you did back then. In addition to drinking whole gallons of Surge. And as you can see, you know, this runs a lot better than Extraction Point. I don't know what they did to Extraction Point to make it run so shitty, but they did something, alright. They did something. I also like how my little operative guy doesn't get dropped in with a rifle, but hey, whatever. You know, budget cuts are a hell of a thing. But yeah, going back to the new universe Predators, it looks like it's gonna be a decent book. Already, it's got a lot of cool detail, and the characters are actually legitimately likable. One of the problems with a lot of modern day fiction, and I'm not talking just commercial fiction, but also indie fiction. Honestly, if you're sick of a lot of crappy, preachy modern science fiction, go to the indies. It's a lot better in many instances. But indie science fiction has a problem of having really bad characters. One of the reasons why I like Christopher Nuttall so much is the fact that he actually makes compelling characters. One of his books that came out this year that was really, really good was Hyperspace Trap. It's where this space liner gets stuck basically in a pocket warp dimension. And everyone is slowly driven mad by chaos. Obviously, it's not called that, but, you know, if you're a 40K fan, you know what's going on. And it was really quite a entertaining read. And the characters were surprisingly good as well. He was actually able to make Space Paris Hilton a really, really compelling character. And hopefully we shall get a sequel to that. Although we might not have, because literally this year, Chris Nuttall, in real life, was suffering from real cancer and almost died from it. Because I actually follow him on Facebook. And I got to see the whole depressing event. But, theoretically, he's going to live, which is very good for both him and his family. First Mandate is not canon. Yeah, none of these are. You don't know, Toy AI was a bot. Oh, you're not talking about Small Soldiers. Okay. 4chan found out about it. It ended up being neo-Nazi AI. Oh, dear. It's fucking Skynet. I read a Terminator fanfic where Skynet actually... will that blow up? No, it's got ammo. Give me all those sweet rifles. Can I have one in real life, please? Where Skynet was evil only because... it wasn't able to understand what humans really were. So, it's pretty good. I would recommend reading it. I think it's Terminator Branches on the Tree of Time. I was going to have a review of that, and I still might. But the review I recorded of it, I didn't like, so I ended up scrapping the whole bloody thing. That happens a lot these days. Well, it doesn't happen a lot these days, but it used to happen more, I'll tell you that. If a review is not to the quality that I like, it will generally get canceled or deleted, even if I am like halfway finished with it. There are still going to be 2 fanfic reviews next month, though. The one where the one Star Trek versus Star Wars, where Picard gets raped by Jaina, and SG XCOM, a XCOM and Stargate fanfic that is absolutely excellent. That does not have any of the old rapey from certain characters. Internet historian. I've actually seen that. I was originally going to do... Actually, I did do, but I ended up scrapping them because I didn't like how they turned out. I was going to do a review of that Branches on the Tree of Time and the fan novelization of Dark Empire. Just didn't like how those turned out. The problem with like reviewing Dark Empire, the novelization, is pretty much... If I want to talk about it, I've got to talk about like the entire plot, which I've already done in the comic review, because it's a one-to-one novelization. There's just a few new details added here and there, and a few real-world elements added to it, like Lando telling Wedge, because at the time of Dark Empire, Wedge is no longer a part of Rogue Squadron, saying that Wedge would much rather be in his X-Wing on the highway to the danger zone. That I like. And instead of Shreve, Palp's real name is Nero Augustus, which I like more than Shreve, because Shreve, it just seems kind of like a bit of a lame-sounding name. It just doesn't sound quite as strong as you would expect. And honestly, Star Wars, especially latter-day Star Wars, I just can't get into anymore. Shreve is so often used, you know, sort of like as a political message. It's like, the president is just like Shreve. It's like, sure, and that's why you're allowed to say that. You know, not to get political, but old Shreve, or Nero Augustus in Star Wars, used to have people in prison for voting for the wrong candidate. Look up the novel for Death Star. The Death Star's designer was a political prisoner who voted for the wrong space governor candidate, so yeah. But not to get political, but everything does, so. Everything, even food! Even food's political now! Can't drink that milk, because, that's raycast, apparently. Will Journey into Internet ever make a comeback? Probably not. Simply because, I never could really find any stories that are particularly interesting. And when I tried to bring it back, nobody really paid that much attention to it. Crap. Why must they always... Why can't we just use dispute resolution? Alright, let's shoot that guy. Of course we do. We gotta have a goddamn arena, don't we? Let's see, and I'll actually join Discord after I shoot up all these guys. Now, I already reviewed Halloween 2018, but I once again gotta recommend watching it because it is quite good. It is amazingly awesome. Although, I gotta say, you know, Laurie Strode definitely needed to move to Texas so she could have some real guns. Because, you know, 270 Winchester, not bad. You know, it doesn't wear out the barrels as fast as other, you know, like, high-velocity cartridges. But seriously, though, if Mike Myers showed up, you know, to, like, a Texas compound, damn. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at the ye old Discordia. Where the hell is that? There it is. Let's go to the old stream chat. And one moment. Just watch the menu. Okay, we might try to get a couple people in here. Most everybody that normally is on there is, you know, off doing their own thing in the middle of the day. So I'm going to stay in the stream chat until anyone joins up. Chris Chan and some of the... Oh god, I don't know why everyone liked that bloody thing though. I honestly found the journey into internets to be so annoying as to not even be funny. It's like, okay, see, a journey into internet can be recorded with zero effort whatsoever, and then, you know, I'll tell you this. The Chris Chan thing pissed me off so much you'd have no idea. It's like 20,000 views. And that was like almost no effort. It was just like a filler video. You know, I then put like months of effort into like, say, Halo. No one watches it. It's like, come on! Come on! Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? It aggravates me so. Because it's like you put a lot of effort into something and no one cares, and you put no effort into something and then all of a sudden everybody likes it. That's just, I guess it's the same. I think that's probably how the guys on InRange feel at times as well. It's like they put like zero effort into like the mud tests, and everybody watches those. They put a shitload of effort into, say, the old West vignettes. No one watches. Psychic, just join the chat in the main General Lotz channel. Because it's there. I'm actually already there, so just... You can join, already in progress. Bug for PC users where clicking start to start the game actually uninstalled it. I mean, I'm sorry for your loss.
What the fuck was that?
Yes, yeah, I had no intention of playing Vault 76 simply because I've got New California, and New California is really quite good indeed. Even if it is a little difficult at times and really, really, really buggy. It's not as buggy as that, though, I'll tell you that. And that's a fan game. One time, I actually just got to the part where, wait, do I want to spoil that or not? Nah, I won't spoil that. But, they do bring, you actually do get to see an FEV VAT. FEV VAT. Ugh, FEV VAT, there we go. I think that's how you say that. But yeah, I had no intention of playing that. After the shittiness of Fallout 4, and I know people like Fallout 4, I don't know why though. I found Fallout 4 to be utter crap. Like, I really, really disliked Fallout 4. But if you're a big fan of the classic Fallouts, which I'm not, because I can't really stand the old school Fallout gameplay, you will like Fallout New California. Now, if you like Fallout 3 in New Vegas, you'll also like it quite a bit, because it's basically like New Vegas on steroids. And the plot is nothing short of excellent, although there's a lot more real-world references in New California. Like, one of the characters will say, yeah, like, Iron Man'd my way out of here. It's like, so wait, Iron Man exists in Fallout now? I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, but since it's a fan game, they don't have to worry about trademarks and crap like that. Hey, Suddy, if you want, you can join the Discord chat, because I'm having sort of an open mic thing right now. Yeah, the classic Fallout gameplay I never could get into. I've tried on multiple occasions. I really have. And I know people like to say it's amazing. I just cannot, you know, I can't get into it. I'd love to be able to. What I would love is to see Fallout 1 and 2 turned into, like, somehow ported into the Game Bro engine. It's probably not going to happen, but by God, would that be cool. I mean, it would be like the most amazing thing of all time. It'd be like a real game. Whatever real would be next. Game. Okay, let's do that. One moment. Let's see here. Stream. There we go. Oh, people always complain about my bloody keyboard. A modder is porting Fallout in the Game Bro. You know, I would love love to see that project actually be finished. I highly doubt it will, but I'd love to see Fallout 1 in game, bro. I'd play the shit out of that. Ooh, that's not good. That ain't good at all. One moment. Okay, there we go. So that sends. And sorry to hear that it's a slideshow. It runs pretty good on mine. Don't get exactly 60 FPS, but it works well enough. Let's see. Let's chat. Actually, wait, can I invite people into these sorts of things? I don't. Create instant invite. Oh, okay. Aha! It's like I know how to use computers. I mean, whatever next, right? Go ahead and invite that guy. There we go. And I'll send that as well. Because why not? Actually, hold on. Let me edit that. Let's pop that up to 8. I know how computer work. It's good for me. Every stream community answer ever. Well, it does. I sent invites out, so holy crap. I sent out some invites because it's like I know how to use the computers.
Don't worry, brother. We'll get you out.
Don't worry, bro. Oh crap, no. Oh, he somehow can survive that because reasons. Oh, of all the modern day slang, bro and brother just sound so cringy to me. I know that cringy is also modern day slang, thank you very much, but I'm going to complain about bro or brother. Way to go, brother. It's like, I don't ever complain because usually people are being nice when they say that, but it still annoys me on occasion. Honestly, there's a term I really want to bring back that I'd never heard of until literally yesterday when I finally sat through, that classic film, A Streetcar Named Desire, which if you've never seen it, you've got to see it, because Marlon Brando is amazing, but evidently, in the 1950s, people used to say rebop, to say cut the shit. Cut the rebop. I like that, because rebop sounds cool. It sounds like some kind of an alien language. Just cut that fucking rebop already. It might be the invite only due to not wanting certain people. I did. I sent out a bunch of... Okay, good. Sent out a bunch of invites. Well, the big problem is too many people show up whenever I just have a completely open mic. There's like 10 people that showed up, and so it's this massive conversational din that no one can understand, you know? Almost as bad as that Mr. Medicare stream. Holy crap! Almost as bad as that Mr. Medicare stream where you literally can understand nothing. So yeah, that's always a problem. And Cool Kids Club? What do I look like? Fucking Burger King? Don't expect to get a burger from me. Although I can make halfway decent hamburgers, so there's that. Probably better than Burger King. You know, Burger King is not a bad hamburger place, but for the price they ask, it's better just to save your money and go to someplace better, like, say, Whataburger. Although if you live in one of those weird foreign alien locations, you know, where, like, gravity doesn't work, you might not have access to one. But if you live in a place where gravity works, you'll probably have access to such a thing. Although, sadly, Texas is not quite as good as it could be because we use non-Euclidean geometry and don't have Del Tacos, which is quite annoying. Let's see. Five Guys in the UK. I did not know that. Go into the server settings? What the hell? Really? That's the link you sent me? Okay, so no, people should be able to join, theoretically. Because I sent out the goddamn invites and it should work. Oh, okay. I'm glad that's an accident. Really, that's what you sent me? Okay. 8 people should be able to join this. Cap it at that. But so far no one has joined. Set the server settings to what? It should be able to join? You know what? Screw it. I'll probably end up regretting this. There. Okay. That is completely open. I'll send you a different invite. Actually, I don't get an option to do that. Huh. Weird. Actually, no, I'll go back into this. Can I, like, follow an invite from what I... That should work. And if it doesn't, then it just isn't meant to be. Horse meat in the U.S. isn't particularly well liked in the U.S. for some reason. Not really sure why that comes from. I guess like horse meat here is seen as like really low quality, like some kind of like emergency kind of meat. I've never had any, so I can't say either way. And the big problem I have with Burger King, though, is whatever they put on their hamburgers really gives me, like, stomach issues. So, it's kind of like the concept of veal. Eating veal in some places is seen as, you know, just a normal thing, but here it's kind of frowned on for whatever reason. So there's that. It's just one of those things. It's regional differences. Get a right click on what? I already did! And the name of the machine god, I do not know. Okay, what I'm gonna do... What I'll do is... Let's see here. Yeah, it could be it. I don't know. Or it could just be all that crap that Burger King generally puts on their hamburgers, or too much salt. Any number of things. For me, though, I generally just prefer the old, Now, Five Guys is a great place. There's actually one here that is just down the street, but for general fast food, I will generally prefer... Yeah, wait, we got a freak out going on. The old Whataburger. Where the fuck have you been? Nope, he's got to step off into the ether. Well, I can't do both. Seabiscuit King. I haven't been there in many years. Many years. So, I don't really intend to go. Because, like, for me, when it comes to eating something unhealthy, I generally prefer to limit what it is. And so if I'm going to eat something unhealthy, it's got to be worth it. So that's why I'll stick with the old Whataburgers. Now, the Five Guys fries are absolutely amazing. And I used to eat way too many of those back in the day. Took a lot of workouts to work them off, too. But talking about food, this was something I was complaining about just the other day. And that, of course, was the fact that I can't get cake. A specific type of cake. There's a local store called Kroger's. Now, Kroger's extends across the U.S., but it's named different things depending on where you live. Because when I was in Utah, it was called, like, Ann's, or I don't even know what it was. It was a completely different name, but it was still the same store. But Kroger's used to carry these little cakes. Like, I think, like, the bakery made them. And it was cheap. It was like $2. But it had, like, really good cake, really good icing and everything. And, like, they had the absolute best carrot cake. Now, they carry a cake that costs, I think, like, $2 more. And it's just so generic as to not even be worth eating. Oh, that's a lot of buddies. But see, like, I don't think they're actually the guys we're fighting as. No, because, like, it's the ATC Rent-A-Cops. Oh, I thought they could have called it that. Silicon and fries. Silicon Valley. Oh, let's see here. Edit channel permissions. Create instant. Oh, oops. Wait, no, that's just for that. Speak, yes. Move. This permission. I don't know. Set reference to the voice channel. It's already set, so it should be working. Let me see here. I'll add one more invite to. There you go. Alright, so, I don't know. It's either gonna work or it's not. Or I'll just be alone. Actually, you know what I'll do? Let's jump into that one. Oh, wait, no, the live streaming. There we go. Let's see here. But nobody else.
You had to make this so difficult, didn't you?
I guess it should be working. What is it doing or not doing?
Let me figure this out. I think what you do is you fucking. I don't. We're not gonna deal with this right now, though. All right. But oh hi.
Streaming general.
Yes.
Yes, he is. We're not gonna deal with this right now, though. But
Not right now.
I think he is.
Was he even talking?
Yes.
I'm trying to tell him something. That's what. I think.
Well,
we're not gonna.
Tell him to get his fucking ass in here.
I think he's
in here.
I think he's
Oh,
talking about
someone
somebody else.
I'm just gonna mute him on my end.
Mute
I think what you need to do,
Yeah,
basically,
me too.
is if you like go to server settings. Like I have a fucking test server up ish. Let me figure this out. So I think you gotta edit channel, active links. I think when you go to permissions, it says blah blah blah. Fucking let me think this through.
Well, the only option I have for
There's a thing that says manage channel. Members with this permission can change the channel. Manage permissions. Members with this permission can change channels. Voice permissions. I think that's view channel. Oh, I think it's under the connect thing, and you gotta, and you can.
Oops.
You can choose who you allow to come
Yeah,
into the channel.
I see it. Okay, let's try. Yeah. Try joining now.
Let me see that shit. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to do a thing.
Oh, that narrows it down. One of those things.
You're gonna have to do a thing in like the other freaking server thing, Mabob.
Yeah, I already did. So it should.
Well, I can't see the server. You have to make sure I can see it.
So wait, under General's Army, you only see 56K BBS and then General channel.
And then everything else underneath.
So you don't see stream chat.
No, because you have to also add a perm for that. You have to go into the thing. Fucking.
Oh, oops. There we go. I see it.
Yeah, English is hard, I know.
Okay, it should be. It should show up now.
Yes, I can see that, but I think you can also like. I'm not gonna deal with this shit, but there's a way you can add it to. You can have it to where specific people can join.
Okay. Well, I don't really need to.
You'll have to dick around with that later, though.
Yeah. So it works. So that's all that matters.
It works to an extent, I suppose.
It's better than it was just a minute ago. Okay.
I suppose so. To when I couldn't even fucking see it. I'm trying to delete this fucking test server I made to figure this shit out, and it won't let me fucking delete it because it's like, hey, you authentication code. I'm like, dude, I send the fucking authentication thing to my phone, alright, and let me fucking delete this.
Yeah, if it were the future, nothing would work. Because it never does.
Seriously, I don't. How the fuck? It's just not sending an authentication code. Did it send out my email? What the fuck?
See, like, now that makes me wonder, though. It's like, okay, getting that to work wasn't that difficult, but, like, if this were 40K, okay, would I, like, have to be praying for, like, 20 minutes just to set up, like, a server?
Or even invite someone.
Yeah, it's like... Because if
I'm thinking, like...
If it doesn't
like
work,
10
I'd have to, like, be
years,
apologizing to the machine. It's like...
But yes, it is spooky day.
Yep, the old Halloween.
No, it's fucking spooky day, shut up.
It's All Hallows Eve. If you don't put up a jack-o'-lantern or a pumpkin, Sam Hain will try to come kill you.
We do, and your mom gay.
I don't know about that. Or is it Saw Wayne? See, like, I know it's not pronounced Sam Hain, but like if I was actually gonna have to like fight him, I would just call him Sam Hain just to be an asshole. So, Sammy, like, you know, what kind of power you got? You know, like, can you like lift? You know, bro, do you lift? Like, how many tons can you lift? No, damn it.
How many tons do I lift? About 3 per day.
That's not bad. But like, that's the thing about those various creatures. Like, well, actually, the Ghostbusters did fight Sam Hain, didn't they? Crap! Throw grenades! Throw them all. Why don't I get power armor? But then again, as we all know, according to Duke, power armor is for pussies. Crap.
Powers for pussies, man. Duke had to be edgy in order to like. I tried to explain this to people like on why I don't like Duke. I don't like Duke Nukem Forever because it's not Duke Nukem, honestly. Like, I feel like I had to explain this to some friends. Basically, they when I see like I hope it doesn't make me sound like an SJW, but this is more so like my view on Duke Nukem 3D. When I think Duke, I think of a badass motherfucker who kills aliens and likes women.
Yeah,
I don't think of. When I play Duke Nukem, I don't expect to go into a fucking level where I'm in a strip club and get a lap dance.
Because that was like just sort of implied that he would do that on, you know, like his off days.
I understand that, but it's like that was never the forefront of Duke Nukem. The reason that it was funny in Duke Nukem 3D is because it's only tongue in cheek. It was nothing. It was not meant to be super edgy.
The big problem is they turned him from Duke Nukem to Douche Nukem.
Yeah, they made him a fucking douchebag, and that's annoying.
Because they really didn't get him, and they've kept him that way. And then now, you know, like with that World Tour crap, they're trying to compare him to a certain presidential personage for some reason. Because reasons. Because you notice they're trying to like ship that with the election. It's like, see, he's just like a certain other individual, and it's like, really now? Is that really?
I would expect no less from Gearbox, considering they can't make fucking games.
They did it one time.
There was a time. Gearbox should have just stuck to making expansions.
I could agree with that. Now, did Gearbox make Bulletstorm? I can't remember.
I don't think so, actually.
Because I forget who made that game. That was a game that really came and went and no one cared. Mainly because it wasn't very good.
Or it wasn't super memorable.
Well, it's that. It basically was,
Oh, it was developed by People Can Fly and was published by Epic Games.
Okay.
People Can Fly are the main people behind Fortnite or whatever. Epic Games, you know who they are, Unreal.
Yes. The old Epic Games. And Jill of the Jungle. Let's not forget her.
Why does Gearbox just have to pick up game rights and just, like, fucking...
I think, you know, Duke Nukem Forever is the Yui Bowl of video game. It is like... Because it really is. It feels like a Yui Bowl movie. And I know the W is supposed to be a V, but I like pronouncing it Yui just because it amuses me so. Stop blowing me up already, goddammit. Well, evidently, whatever city this is, it must be in a legislature that has a massive homeless population, because there's literally just like 3 mattresses down here in the sewers. So it's, I assume this is alternate universe San Francisco. Or Seattle.
Someone edited a picture of Ted Cruz with a fucking, like a Ripper and like some Legion attire on, and the flag behind him instead of a Legion flag has the Republican logo, and it says "Degenerates like you belong in a."
Why am I not surprised that somebody would do that?
I mean, it's a good meme.
True, but he's not that bad.
I know, but it's like it wouldn't. It's funny though. It's funny. Why can't I get this fucking code? I'm gonna kill myself. Okay, I'm not gonna kill myself, but still.
Yeah, because that seems a bit much. Okay, now we're moving on from fear, just regular fear. And we're going to go and do Event Horizon.
Fear 3 is a good meme, honestly.
You know, if it was called something else, I wouldn't care, but like it makes no sense in the Fear universe. Like, okay, where did they get mech suits and their own mercenary army?
It's like, when the fuck did they... It's like, why did it become... Not to become Call of Duty?
That is a very good question indeed. Alright, Event Horizon XV. That is a very nice 3D model of the ship. Oh, Event Horizon. I saw that as a kid, actually. And I gotta say, it wasn't that scary. Because the big problem with a lot of those haunted house movies is just don't go in the house. Or leave the house. So it's like, oh no, it's an evil ship possessed by a demon. Don't go on the ship! You know, I mean, that's an easy thing to do, I would think. They'll go on the ship, and they won't kill you. I've not actually seen this cutscene here. Oh no, I bet this is the original movie music, so this is going to get flagged for copyright.
Mute everything.
Nah, I'll just not monetize it. It's not like this is going to go viral, hopefully.
Okay, like, seriously, where the fuck does this go? Do I have to fucking remove two-factor authentication? Disable two-factor authentication, enter Discord.
Hello, extra mana.
I think I have this shit written down somewhere, actually.
Deep Space Research Vessel. I remember in 2015 when the first permanent colony was established on the moon. You remember that? I mean, it was all over the news, but I think Trump, you know, might have pushed it off.
I remember that too.
Front page. So, 2047 now. It's always hilarious when they say, like, in 2007, the toxic waste dump on the moon exploded. It's like, no, wait a minute, I don't remember that happening. It actually looks pretty good for a mod. This would be good for a legitimate production, because that ship looks damn good. Oh, the CG water that people won't shut up about. It's like, who cares?
Wait, what are you talking about?
People complain about the CG water.
Oh, that feels bad, man.
It's the lament configuration! Just punch it!
What?
The lament configuration, it's a...
Oh. I like punching things, yeah.
And this is the Event Horizon mod, extra mana. Oh, that's gonna get taken down. Oops. I didn't know that was in that. Random naked woman.
Titties! Wait, what?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's sexist.
Claire's suicide was 2 years ago. What is happening to me? I haven't had these dreams in a long time. Shake it off. Oh crap, I was supposed to be in briefing room an hour ago. So wait a minute, Doom guy is Dr. Weir? That's the other problem with not Half-Life, but Hellraiser. This is really good, by the way. Hellraiser is like, don't open the box. Don't open the box. The Cenobites aren't going to come kill you. '97. I was like 8 years old at the time. Okay, is the game too loud? I can't tell. Sound effect from Halo. The fat zombies.
The fat Zambles.
Yeah, what if it's the feminist zombies? Not big. Of course, then again, what's the That was a huge explosion. It sounded like something hit the station. They said the
I swear
ion
to
drives
God.
were on the fritz. Hope that it wasn't a test gone wrong. Well, you work for the UAC. I'm pretty sure it's a test gone wrong. It generally is. People aren't very smart. Okay, let's turn.
And can the UAC actually hire some good people, like smart people?
No, because that would be that would be ableist. Okay.
Oh, kill yourself.
And as we all know, actually somebody did just kill themselves in the game. This is really good. Holy crap! What, they got a commando this early? Got a fucking pea shooter here. Although, why does Dr. Weird have a pea shooter? That doesn't make any sense. Give me that old shotty.
Oh, I'm retarded.
Well, I didn't know that was
Yeah.
the question.
Google Authenticate. I'm stupid, motherfucker.
Let's see. Let's do the old survey. Hellraiser was allegory for Pandora's box. Greed, actual philosophy, the first book.
Retarded. Then again,
Oh,
what
it's
else?
Well, even then, you know, it's like, how do you make a sequel to something like that? You know, because, like, realistically, logically, just don't open the box. You know, don't be, like, such a BDSM fan that you have to open the box to literally be tortured for all eternity. Just saying. Insert card. November is Safety Awareness Month. We're not on Mars, we're in space.
Space, motherfucker.
The UAC PDA. Now, you know, the smartphone is actually quite a young piece of technology.
Yes, I know. It was like, what, 2005?
Actually, it's even more recent than that. 2007.
7. Okay.
Yeah, with the release of iPhone 1.
So anyway, about that thing I said about the fucking Fallout 76 beta. It says there's multiple articles. The issue isn't your average freeze. For clicking any button on the launch client would delete the entire beta.
What? How does that even work?
Just Bethesda things, okay? It's only Bethesda. All right.
It makes no sense.
It makes sense if it's Bethesda. Only they could fuck up something that bad.
Oh, wait, maybe there's something on user email. You have to go through user tab. Admiral Hollis. I apologize for the short notice, Bill, but we've had something come up that requires your immediate attention. At 0300 this morning, TDRSS picked up. Signal Houston confirms. Okay, this is from the movie.
Fucking
Static noise and inhuman voices. Liberate me. Save yourself from hell. Planetary Photojournal.
Can I not get these fucking bots adding me on fucking Steam?
No.
Well, fuck you. No one asked you.
Yeah, but I'm the king of the stream, so I can be asked. I don't even have to be asked.
I'll fucking just tell you to kill yourself.
Well, you know, you never know. Oh, that reminds me. I wonder if I should show the top 13 deaths on the stream or not, or just wait till it
Thinking
posts
face.
this weekend.
You probably should. I would.
Because there's a lot.
Sneak.
What's kind of funny is there's a lot of Aloha snack bars on that list. More than I thought there would be.
Top 13 deaths in what? In general?
In fiction. Originally, it was the top 13 deaths in film, but that was changed to just the top 13 deaths in general because I added some book deaths, one from two from a comic, one from a TV show. So yeah, most of which no one's gonna have actually ever seen before. Oh crap! I don't know if I gotta get out of that or not. I'm stuck on the wall. Oh, I don't know if that would have killed me or not. I'm just gonna assume it would have.
Or it would have gone through you like the fucking spirit can at the start of Doom 3 when you meet when the Helen.
I would think so. Weir's OG, it's like the old horror game, built-in kill switch, which would completely delete everything upon completion.
So cold.
Titties.
Yes. That's actually a scene from the movie. She didn't look quite that good in the movie, I'll tell you that. Still is pretty, for a mod.
This probably, like, that probably won't be an issue considering there are There's like footage of games with that on YouTube, plenty.
And there's actual movies with, you know, like full sex scenes on YouTube.
There's legitimate porn movies on YouTube for some reason.
Because I got the, well, I saw Dark, not Dark, what the hell is that movie called now? Not Dark Angel.
Literally the most useless grenades in any game ever.
Yes, I don't really know why they even bother putting them in the game.
Them physics though on those grenades is hilarious.
Let's see,
Oh, hey, ticks, or trites, or whatever.
They're two different things, at least according to the instruction manual. Because I have the instruction
Yes,
manual.
they are. The ticks are like much thinner, and they take like 2 bullets to kill. The trites take like fucking 4. They're much like, they're easy to kill, like the MG, the SMG gun.
Yes. Which really is much more like an SMG and not an actual assault rifle, but it makes sense not to have an assault rifle in space because they can go straight through the hull, and that ain't good.
More like an SMG because Doom. Don't kill them with a shotgun, that triggers me.
I always kind of like this SMG here. It makes for it looks a lot like the P90, even though it really isn't.
Yeah, it's like that sleek bullpup design.
Even though by today's standards it's actually pretty obsolete. It just goes to show you how fast technology changes. Because see, it doesn't have an optics rail. Everything today has an optics rail, so...
I know some P90s can have an optics rail, don't they generally have that?
Yeah, some do. Some of the older ones I think don't, but most of the modern ones will. Originally, the P90 was just supposed to have a 2-power scope, for whatever reason.
2-power scope on an SMG, okay.
Hey, you know, it's FN. It's FN, you know, just don't question it.
Should be fair than 5.7 sexy, huh?
Yeah, but it ain't worth no $1,000, at least not to me. I'll stick with my 40.
I mean, I like penetrating.
Well...
Didn't they almost ban fucking 5.7s at one point?
Yes, they did. That crazy science is getting...
Because they were so good at, like, going through armor.
Yeah, but that was only one type of ammo, and it was kind of stupid because...
that was the green tips, wasn't it?
I don't remember. Honestly, it was so long ago. Because that was around 2007, something like that. So this actually kind of has an alternate plot to Event Horizon, so this is sort of like a retelling of it. So it feels like a legitimate game version of Event Horizon the film.
Sudi asks opinion on the bump stock. It's not fully automatic. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Does not make it any fully automatic. I do not give a shit what anyone says.
As we all know, the government knows best, and so we should give up everything and just, you know, worship the anti-gunners as living gods. But seriously though, yeah, it's not full auto. They're actually...
Yeah, not even close.
All a bump stock is literally a thing that you kind of like hold a certain way, and it literally just bumps your trigger finger into the trigger. That's it.
You know what the funny thing is too? If you try to do that shit as fast as you can, good luck hitting the fucking broadside of a barn.
There's that, and full auto is the fun button. Hey, it's the Voyager.
It is. It's the fun button, but good luck hitting anything. Yeah, it is like the Voyager or one of the Pioneer probes.
This is a really epic mod. I mean,
this looks really damn good, John, honestly. I mean, sure, some of the textures are kind of stretched, but on like walls and stuff, but it looks real good.
And some of the animation can be a little bit better, but then again, you know, Doom 3 engine.
Doom, yeah, in Tech 4 is an interesting thing.
Actually, E-grenade. It actually worked. Whatever next.
Oh my god. That is... I guess the physics for the, I guess the grenade physics are sometimes beneficial.
A little. But not often. Walk into the door. It's a good thing I actually know where I'm going, because if not, I could easily get turned around. Anti-gum people saw it. Yeah, they did go crazy. What's funny is, they didn't go crazy about it until people told them it was bad. You know?
Yeah, who goes? Oh, hi, Vulcan.
Merry Halloween.
Merry, fucking Spook Day. Who goes? Oh, it's somebody Phil.
Yeah, it's, he has cameoed in a couple of videos of mine.
Cameos, I don't...
Yeah. So how's it going?
Guten Abend.
Good morning, good supper, I don't think.
So how's it going? And yes, the MP5 is a SMG.
Yes.
A pretty good one.
Here's the question. MP5 normal or MP5 compact?
Probably just the normal one. Hit better.
Okay, yeah, me too. It looks nicer to me, honestly.
It still is. It actually kind of obsolete compared to what you have today. Because what you'd want in real life is 300 black, 10.5 inch carbine. At least that's what I was going to build before I was like, I could spend $500 on something actually a bit more important than that.
Yeah, like a graphics card, but...
Eventually.
Are you still, like, running a 970, or...?
This is the RX 480.
Oh, nice. You just need to get a better RAM thing.
I need new RAM, new processor, and new motherboard to run it all.
Pleb.
Well, it's how it goes.
That's how it be.
That's, I'm probably gonna get some things in, next month for the, Black Friday. The clock is ticking. Ion Drive is 10 minutes. Better get to the grav couches. I like how the rest of the crew just isn't here.
Black Friday is racist because it preys on black people's tendency to purchase a lot of things. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, crap. How do I
Wait,
even...
can you open those safes or?
I don't know. I'm probably gonna die if I don't.
Sorry. We'll just run.
Phil, turn up your microphone because it's kind of quiet.
I didn't see anything.
Oh, I thought you
Yeah,
did.
he didn't say anything.
He's just breathing.
Oh.
I know
you-
Psychic Mario was talking all the time, and I think it's it's rude to interrupt someone.
Oh. Well, then raise a virtual hand.
Just like send him a message with like a hand emote.
And I'm doing pretty good, Jared Smith. And I want a processor that supports DDR4. Just because I have like the maximal processor that I can get for this software generation. Because this is a 6000 AMD FX, whatever the fuck.
Well, if you're going to want like a newer processor, like actually, I don't know if this would be a bad
Hold
idea.
on, wait, one second. Doom guy just turned into an anime character. His eyes opened like a
He did.
giant anime eyes. But
I
what?
just saw that. That's fucking hilarious.
Let me see.
It already passed.
It's already passed it. Well, stream is lagging. Anyways, I'm not sure. I don't know, like what your opinion is on getting a new motherboard that like supports like, I don't know, either like an Intel, what is it, like an 8006
i799.
yeah, like one of those, or get like something that supports Ryzen.
Well, I do want to try to tech up to Ryzen, honestly.
Ryzen is fucking nuts from what I know.
9390. Well, I actually have read that like I'm not going to get that much of a performance increase if I teched up to another FX series.
He's probably just gonna get a Ryzen then.
Chip.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll just have to see what happens.
Someone named
And silencers do not reduce recoil, nor do they reduce sound much. When I went to my 3-gun competition, there was a guy there. He had this big-ass can on his rifle. And it was not that much quieter, to be honest.
yeah, suppressors really don't. They're suppressors, but they don't really, suppress.
It's not a bad Lenovo PC. Sounds like it should be able to play something. RX 1700.
R7 1700.
Yeah, whatever.
God damn it. You can't fucking read, alright? Go back to school.
Hey, I'm trying to play a game, talk to multiple people. Thought to self, brr, it's cold out here. You're in space, dude! Why would you... Oh, shit.
shit.
Oops. I probably should get back on the ship. We're not at the event horizon yet. Oh, I almost literally just walked out into space.
Yeah, you idiot.
Now, you do want to go big, I guess. For like, on Newegg right now, for like $309.99, you can get a Ryzen 2700X.
He's planning on like going to grab some shit again during Black Friday.
Yeah.
The level says so. I don't know if I'm being, like, trolled or not. Try jumping, right? Oh crap, I'm all the way back here. Actually, wait, do I have an autosave?
No.
There it is. Blackout 1. Actually, let's see.
I lied.
Blackout 1. Walk out into space. Play modern games, GTA 5, Quake Champions. Yeah, it's not too bad. GTA 5 is like a processor hog, I'll tell you that. So what's been going on with you, Phil, over the past couple months? Anything cool? Assuming you're still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I was looking for the live feed right now, and it's kind of funny to like hear you in one headset and then with a delay in the other one.
Yeah, actually...
What's new lately? Well, I don't want to stir up any controversy, but what's interesting, that with the latest release of macOS 10, number 14, for some reason NVIDIA and Apple do not want to publish the graphic drivers, and yeah, well...
Gee, I wonder why.
It's just like, okay, right now it's only usable in boot camp. But
I've never used anything Mac related, to be honest, so I don't really know anything about that.
I cannot stand Mac. I cannot stand Mac.
I have at least like some experience with some old-ish, like by old-ish as in like 2000s, mid-2000s, early 2010s Macs before I got into PC gaming.
Not gonna lie, Mac, that mouse is literally the worst thing I've ever held. Yes, even worse than the acid I've held in my finger. I'm sorry, I'm kidding.
Yeah, because they're like, see, since I grew up with somebody who worked at Compaq, you know, Compaq being a classic IBM PC phone, so I never had an opportunity to even use a Mac. So yeah,
Mac gay.
So well, I couldn't tell.
In my case, it comes with the territory about like working. You know, my job basically is Microsoft servers and Mac support, and to be perfectly honest, the whole especially before smartphones really took off, it was because nowadays it's, you know, Apple versus anyone who produces Android phones, and before that it was Microsoft versus Apple, and it's to me, I'm not willing to participate in a fight between two sides where neither does give a crap if I exist or not. I mean, like, I know someone who works for Microsoft who has to, like, defend Microsoft in public, but he gets way more paid than I do. So that's understandable. It's like it comes with the territory, it's part of his job, but with me, I'm just a user, and all I can say is don't try to play on a Mac. That's really difficult.
56 days
I don't
out.
know. I don't know how it's working with Metal 2. They say they improved something, but I can't try because external GPUs are not supported by now, and I have a nice paperweight when it comes to gaming on Mac right now.
This is weird. You'd think they'd have something fixed for that, but then I think Macs are primarily just like professional machines more than anything else.
Yeah, the that I've read on several forums that like people who are used it with video editing and picture editing, that they are waiting on the drivers and it's not working by now.
Yeah, so I imagine it'll be like some unofficial thing though, because you can always expect the fans to actually, you know, well, not fans, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The PC equivalent to fans.
Mac fans.
The people
are
who
like
Mac plebs.
the people that like that shitty game that predated Halo that no one likes.
Trying to game on a Mac.
Greg
trying
likes
to
it.
game on a Mac is like trying to play the latest games on an N64.
A lot of professionals previously used Macs have backed out as they've gotten worse, apparently. The only Mac I ever really wanted to use was that Mac Air thing.
MacBook Air?
Yeah, you know, like the thing that like could fit in a manila folder. I thought that was kind of cool. It was that really super thin laptop.
MacBook.
Also, this mod is absolutely amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and review this as soon as I can, because this is like professional quality work here. You know. I mean, yeah, there's some animation issues, but once again, Doom 3 engine. You're kind of limited in what you can do. Load up from the ammo lockers and head down to the entrance tunnel. It's like, but this is amazing. It's like, that's a good cut sign. Cut sign? Well, I can speak good.
Cut sign.
Cut sign.
You can English, Sean. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, more like ESL. You know, I wonder if I could actually convince somebody that English is my second language.
Might as well
Probably.
That would actually be pretty hilarious.
Probably just based off your skin color, they would believe that.
Oh yes, because anyone who has brownish skin must speak Spanish.
Probably.
Also, you need to ham up with the Mexican accent.
I cannot do one at all.
What you just saying?
See, like that sounds better than what I can do.
And I was thinking my English sounds bad.
What you're saying? That was pretty bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What you say? You don't know me.
That's still better than what I can do. See, the only accents that I've had is either the weird accent that I have now, and the only reason I have that accent now is because people made fun of me so much for having the most stereotypical Texas accent imaginable. And I stopped, and I basically stopped doing that so people would stop making fun of me.
How hard was that?
Well, you know, I'm not really sure, honestly, because it was done a bit differently. I kind of subconsciously got rid of it. I'd like to bring it back, honestly, because I got rid of it for really stupid reasons.
When was this?
Around 2002 to 2004.
John, why do you care? Why did you care?
Well, holy crap. Really? Why am I being attacked by Half-Life 2 energy bubbles? It wasn't so much caring, it was a thing where I wanted to stop giving people ammunition to use against me. So it's like...
Even back in 02?
Yeah, see, the idea was they're constantly going to make fun of me, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk in a different way so that no one can actually make fun of me.
So it's like a it's more, dignified? Not sure if I would say British. No, not British. It's just more, it just sounds dignified.
It's something along those lines. It was, honestly, by today's standards, it's pretty stupid, but, you know, at the time, it was that way, and then I just kind of stuck with that. It's kind of a weird thing. You see, as I've grown older and more intelligent over the years, I've learned that a lot of the stupid things I used to do were really dumb.
Well...
So, yeah. And that was one of them. It's like, oh, I can't speak this way. It's like, oh, I can talk any way I want. If people don't like it, they can go fuck themselves. But, you know, when you're like a teenager or you're younger, it's like, I want to be taken seriously. It started out, I wanted to stop being made fun of. Then it became, I wanted to be taken seriously. And now it's like, I kind of want to get that back. Because that was, I spoke... Okay, the weird thing about the way I spoke back then was I used the same kind of words that I do now. You know, I use my own kind of slang that I'll come up with. But thick
What, like
Texas
Great
accent.
Yizmir, or
Wait, what?
what, like by the Great Yizmir?
Yeah, I would say stuff like that back then. But thick Texas accent, I'm gonna die. And I want that back.
Oh my god!
I want it back!
John,
Huh.
you know what I completely forgot about in COD 4? In the campaign?
I don't think the business...
That... John,
I was in the campaign, I don't even remember.
I completely forgot that enemies can actually run after you and smash you in with the butt of their gun.
Oh yeah, I almost said like... Okay, I was thinking of Modern Warfare 2, and then I still got it wrong. The Dreadnoughts. I was about to call them Bismarcks for some reason. Oh yeah, the Bismarcks!
Oh, Bismarcks. That's stylish, but
Well, I'm talking about COD 4.
Yeah.
nah. Yeah. Call of Duty Mick Cheeseburger.
Back is
number 4.
toast.
But with the whole accent thing, John, this is going to sound very well. No one is in this chat is going to get it because I'm assuming none of you have even played. I'm assuming that no one here has actually played Fire Emblem, but you kind of that story reminded me of this character. I think her name is pronounced Nafine. Thing is that she wants to ditch her like countryside accent because she at least in Path of Radiance she was ashamed of being a country girl.
No.
But in Radiant Dawn she retained the accent and all that. But you're essentially the different route. You completely ditched your accent and adopted another.
Yeah, which was a weird thing. The Englishy bits, I think, came from watching constant documentaries on World War II.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah. Oh, they put him in different
Nerd.
clothes. That's back when the History Channel was jokingly
Not
called...
woke.
Wait, what?
That was
Ooh,
back when they weren't woke.
That too, and this is really fucking amazing.
To be fair, they're not as woke as others.
Not as bad as MTV, but this is amazing. Like, this guy could have sold this and made money.
Well, they'll have a copyright, but with its software, and we don't want to see that happening. Now, do we?
Well, there's that, but
Yeah.
it's like, this is absolutely amazing. Yeah, I gotta try to get a review of this out, because this deserves more exposure. It needs to have its gaming dick wagged all over the internet. And yes, I went there.
Yeah.
You're disgusting, John.
No, absolutely degenerate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just as degenerate. Just as degenerate as liking Halo 4, but that's besides the point.
Hey, Halo 4 is not that bad.
Shut the fuck up.
What did I just get hit by? Oh, the flying rocket skulls probably agree with you on Halo 4, and that's why they're trying to kill me.
Guys, you like Halo?
I'm sorry, but I have to ask. Your nickname, Dust Vulcan. How did you come up with it?
Well, sometimes they change my name on Steam, and it used to be, well, technically speaking on my Discord profile, it's still, like, my main name is Mr. Theta, but...
Where did that initial name come from?
I don't know, like, basically, I think it all started in Gmod, where, like, a friend of mine was, like, playing, like... I was somehow very cautious of my online reputation, and by that, as just in my presence. So after basically, I guess a friend of mine was like playing like Trouble in Paris or something like that. I decided just to change my username to something else, and then after that, change my name to Mr. Theta, and then to Dustful. So basically, that's my origin story of that. It's not like I was the greatest 40k tabletop war gamer ever, and I used the salamanders. No, and No.
Oh, crap, no.
It may sound very illustrious, or at least very nerdy, but that's not the case.
Okay, because it's written with a K, which is in German, and it's just like it would be der, not das. Like the
Das,
article
I
is
think, and I think
wrong.
is it? I know this is going to sound like a little Marxy, but I'll explain. I'll explain in a bit. But is das a quote-unquote neutral pronoun or something in German?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crap.
Usually, when you address something, it's not like the in English, where you can say the car, the mountain, but it actually in German it's like.
So what's the female? Pronoun in German?
That would be die, which is accidentally written like die. It's D-I-E.
Yeah.
Bard, die. No, it's the Bard. The.
Yeah, actually, yeah. This Simpson episode, this part was not funny in German.
Oh, what?
No, because it's like you don't get it that it's like meant in English, and it's like okay, that's grammatically totally wrong, but whatever.
Oh, okay.
And also, Suddy, I did not realize that Vulcan in German actually means volcano.
God damn it.
So basically, my name is the Volcano. Then yet again, well, which is actually somewhat fitting in retrospect, because I do get mad at certain things in certain comments made by John. But,
what? Like, you know what? Marathon! There we go. Marathon is shit.
Well,
it is
here's the
shit.
thing. But the thing is that I would argue that it has more merit than Halo 4 at least.
You know, it's gonna make me eventually have to live stream Halo 4.
And then
I'd
Mario.
rather murder you.
See? At least
I'd
Mario.
rather have a criminal record.
Yeah.
Halo 4.
Yeah.
Halo 4 on the piss poor. Crap.
It's not on PS4.
Crap.
Yeah.
You know, I really dislike Microsoft on a random note. Okay.
Well, who doesn't? Kinda.
What'd you say, John?
Microshaft. I kind of dislike them by like a lot. Okay, so
I hate Sony even more. So.
well, it's like,
You know what's funny? That PlayStation Classic lineup was announced for like the little thing, and I was like, "What the fuck is that game like?"
oh crap.
That shit's not worth $99.
Yeah, and the PS Now, which I might end up trying to get just so I can play Bloodborne finally, is like $20 a month when everything else is cheaper.
Yeah.
But it's glorious Nippon.
Isn't GameFly a streaming service now for games?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I know it used to be like rental or something like that, and also,
Yes.
and
Oh, yeah.
also, I just want to, and also, Suddy, at least, at the very, like, Halo 4 symbolizes for the Halo community a big ass split, bigger than Halo Reach, and
Yes.
and it symbolizes 343 Industries, essentially.
Okay, but you know, you
Halo
gotta.
4 split the Halo community more than anything has in history.
It split
Yeah.
it more than the Forerunners not being humans. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
like Halo 4.
Why are the Guardians in Halo 5? That's what I want to know.
Honestly, you know, I don't disagree. It's just I say that stuff just to be an asshole because it's funny to me. Because I really don't like where Halo went, but you know, it's too much fun for me to not go like Halo 4 is superior to X number of games you might like. Because I
Why
can
don't you
get
shut up?
because I could get into like, okay, the big problem with Halo 4 is it introduces the age-old sci-fi trope of, okay, we killed off the series bad guy, let's come up with generic gray people. Because that's exactly what happened with Stargate. It was generic gray people. You know, it's like, let's have an enemy that is exactly like the one we just defeated, but let's make him gray. You know?
Okay, I think I gotta go. Maybe I can be back later, but yeah, definitely gotta go.
Alright, see ya.
Yeah, Philly Dilly.
Yeah, see, I'm gonna try to do some earlier live streams so, like, he can show up and, like, Suddy can show up and stuff like that. Since they're all, like, in some weird alien land that doesn't have gravity or oxygen.
Now, I will say
What's that supposed to mean?
It's a joke. That's the joke. It's like they're, like, an alien...
No, I legitimately don't understand. Like
Well,
the whole gravity oxygen thing. Like, I don't understand.
Ooh, hold on, one second. Damn, that's unfortunate. But
What, you died?
no, look at what the demons did to those people. Just look at the stream.
I'm looking at the... Oh.
That's
well,
unfortunate.
Is that the flood?
No,
not even close. Yeah.
that's pretty creepy. See, this is a damn good mod. Now, I think somebody mentioned like they don't remember it being this long. Yeah, I don't like cloud gaming, but it's like I don't want to have to get a PS4 to play, you know, some of these games. Now, and if you have a PS4, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just joking. God damn it! Don't take everything I say 100% seriously.
Joke in 2018. What are you talking about?
But it's
yeah,
like
no, it could, yeah.
I could get that and play it.
Yeah, jokes are illegal. Haven't you known the 28th Amendment? Jokes are now banned.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And
What?
also, I will say that Halo 4 is a lot more easier to navigate the marathon. I will not lie about that.
Halo 4 is much easier, yes.
Yes, yes.
Titan play. Okay, wait, Proctor. How can you think Halloween 1978 sucks? I didn't see that thing until 2013, and I thought it was amazing. You, sir, are a nub. It's like your horror
Proctor gay. He should go.
I need your nerd card.
Gay.
You know, you're on a 3-month suspension.
Yeah.
My suspicion of the nerd card.
And
Go commit die.
liquid methane.
I'm just gonna Claymore and you die.
Commit liquid methane.
Claymore.
More boobs.
Okay.
Yay, boobs.
Even though she's a zombie succubi. Oh, she turned into a boss. That's.
Oh no! She turned into a big boss lady.
I gotta review this game because it's amazing.
Mod.
Whatever, game mod game. I don't know.
Shut up.
I just work here.
No, you don't.
Hold on, I have legit reasons. Do you, sir?
Do you have legitimate reasons?
Because if you don't, I'm gonna have to submit.
Then we're gonna ban you.
I don't know if we'll go that far. We'll just
We're gonna ban you from existing.
You'll have to go live on Titan with Suddy. You'll have to
You're
drink.
gonna have to be Shodan's boyfriend.
Yeah, she's like the crazy girlfriend meme that was around like in 2015. Which
Yeah.
I bet they can't do that anymore because it's like, you know, sexist.
Yeah, that's sexist.
Because everything's sexist. Eventually I gotta watch Goblin Slayer because it looks like it might be fun.
It might as well be medieval Doom 2016, the anime. Kinda, but I haven't actually seen it.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna be doing a Weeb review this week of Black Magic M66, a very classic OVA from 1988.
Black
Wow,
Magic,
you
that sounds
weeb.
racist.
Well, it's actually gonna be with Rainick, because he was a weeb before weebs were weebs. So
Was he?
yeah, like back when you had to go to like
You need to prove it. You had to go to Japan to watch any anime.
or you had to know a guy who got a couple VHS tapes
Yeah.
and fell off a truck.
Yeah.
You need
Totally didn't steal.
I actually saw Black Magic M66 before I even decided to do the review. I just was going through some weeb shit, and I was like, this looks pretty good. It is. It's a fun little action anime that's more or less a ripoff of Terminator. Japaninator.
Japaninator. But why Black Magic?
I don't
Where's
know.
the magic?
Maybe you're a ripoff of the Terminator.
Maybe.
Yeah,
The Terminator took influence.
Crap. Fucking these aren't zombies. These are imps. Okay, wait. What
Okay.
did Proctor say? Just thought it was really poorly made. Stabs Michael in the head after being terrified of him. She relaxes on the couch, turns her back on, and then he comes back to life. Well, you realize that was the first of its kind. Okay, so that's just kind of how that went back then. You gotta really think about how nothing like that had ever been seen before in that style. Actually, getting kind of hot. So, you know, it's like, she did know the horror movie tropes. But if you didn't like Halloween 1978, I recommend seeing Halloween 2018. I gotta make sure I don't say Halloween 2008. That'd be a decade off, but...
What? Was there a Halloween movie that came out in 08, though?
Yeah. Almost said Michael Ironside by accident.
Michael Ironside.
Rob Zombie. There we go. I actually know people who like that movie for some reason.
He says he doesn't like giving movies excuses, though. Wow. Well, it was the first of its kind, so that is the only excuse.
Well, it's kind of
It's
like...
not an excuse because it really was.
It's just, it was... I guess, from a modern audience's perspective, it would be kind of hard to get into. But don't worry, 2018's Halloween, Laurie Strode isn't stupid, and she doesn't do anything too dumb. But it's a good thing you saw that, because you can actually get more of the Halloween 1 references that are in 2018. I don't want to spoil it, but Mike is still really, really stupidly tough in that film. He tanks a .270 Winchester. So yeah, and some 4440s as well.
Are you sure it wasn't a 4570?
No, it was. Oh, he gets shot with a bolt action, and it's a .270 Win.
Oh.
Why not an AK-57?
Well, because unfortunately, she's a FUD.
Meaning?
Elmer Fudd.
Oh, Ilma Foot.
See, I'm not going to say that he's one, but that's the term that is used for gun owners that don't like black rifles. FUDs are gun owners that only want their bolt actions and lever guns. And
That's
their
retarded.
38 revolvers and stuff like that. So they're jokingly
retarded.
called FUDs. And Laurie Strode in 2018 is a FUD. Because she doesn't have...
Who's like that in 2018?
There are people like it. They're mainly older people. Generation Z...
What they swear by their like fucking by their like double barrels and
Yeah. There's actually a video just today I watched on that, how they'll be like, all you gotta do is fire a warning shot with your double barrel. It's like, you realize...
No, that doesn't work in 2018.
Well, it doesn't work no matter what year it is, because for one, if you feel like you're in danger enough to do a warning shot, you might as well take a real shot. And it's actually illegal to shoot a warning shot, because unless you feel like you're in imminent danger, you can't shoot at all. Not that people seem to know that. So I don't think like if someone's trying to break into your house, you can go to jail over that. But could they have written that any smaller? Jameson cleared the order to hold the test subject pending. Okay, I think that's just from Doom 3. I'll read it when I do the review.
Fire a warning shot directly at them. Works every time. Savage.
Yeah, you should fire a warning shot directly at them.
Warning shots just...
Range.
And like if you're actually in fear of your life, firing a warning shot will probably get you killed. Because if somebody...
Also, that person might have like a 9mm or 45 ACP. That's gonna have got plenty more bullets than you do.
There's that.
If you're a FUD, that is.
It's just, it's kind of silly. It's like, even if you have a real, well, a double barrel is a real gun, which I'm gonna review one next year that I have.
Which one?
Double barrel, because I do own a double barrel shotgun. It's I had it as a prop in a couple videos, but I haven't done a review of it yet, just because I haven't gone to do like sporting clays in a while, and I suck. Actually, it's trap.
Yes, you do suck.
It's called trap, not sporting clays. Sporting clays is different. And yes, it does make you gay if you shoot trap. Makes you very, very gay.
Well, when you think about it, well, you can look at it at a very metaphorical level, but I'm not going to describe it.
I mean, I'm just saying,
John.
trap is gay.
John, you ever get the achievement in COD 4 called "Your Show Sucked"?
No. Thankfully
Shoot out
not.
every TV in the chapter Charlie Don't Surf.
Oh,
you,
that I remember that. I thought
you
you were...
shoot out every TV with Al-Assad's speed.
I
It's
remember
like one of
that
the hardest
now.
achievements to get in the game.
Oh, that level needs to be longer, because that was actually a fun level. Let me see here.
I'm in the broadcast area, so
Saying
this part's really fucking hard. Yeah, I know.
Not logic, say. Well, and you also got to remember that horror movies are going to have some bullshit to not be over in the first 5 minutes as well.
Yes, horror movies always have bullshit.
Because, like, realistically...
That's just something you have to deal with.
Yeah, because...
If you can't deal with that, then you don't like horror movies.
If Mike were to show up, like, in Texas, yeah, he's dead. A lot.
He's going to be deader than dead.
He's gonna be dead within the first... He's gonna be dead before he even gets across the board.
Exactly. I mean,
he's gonna die, like, 5 seconds in from the intro.
So,
like, the intro just won't even finish playing. It'll just play the first music, and you just hear a gunshot, and the credits will roll.
Pretty much.
That's how it works.
Because, like, I get that he can probably if he can tank a 270 win, somebody's gonna pull out like a 50 caliber, okay?
Yeah, someone's just gonna pull out their 50 BMG and be like, no, you're dead.
Yeah, Demolition Ranch is going to kill Michael Myers.
Yeah. Now, the only thing that could happen that might give him a chance is, like, if he attacked Hickok 45 and be too busy trying to decide which gun to use.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's dark.
Let's see.
And, no, you know what he'll do? He won't take too much time because when he knows that his life is on the line, he'll just eventually settle for a Glock and just unload every single mag in it.
10 millimeter.
Glock. His 10 millimeter Glock, yeah. He'll just, you know what? Glocks. I love Glocks. So he'll just unload every shot.
Eventually I want to get a 10 millimeter, but that ain't gonna happen for a while just because computers. And more important stuff, you know?
Oh yeah, your PC.
Because it's like, I got my 40, you know, I got that M&P, got all that, so it's like, do I really need... It's a full-size M&P. Oh, cool, they even got this guy kind of looking like,
God, the grenade spam in this area is real. That's old COD for you, am I right, John?
Mm-hmm. Which I like.
That stopped at, like, Black Ops 1, I'd say. Modern Warfare 2 even had grenade spam, if I remember correctly.
Now...
But, yeah, that's old COD for you, grenade spam. Hell, even in your COD 2 review, there was like a scene like 2 minutes in the Soviet part where it was like, oh hey, 4 grenades.
Yeah, that was pretty terrible. But hey,
that's fucking scary as shit.
That's what happened in real life, though.
Really? They would just throw 4 grenades at once?
Well, yeah, they throw a lot of grenades.
Coordinate a grenade attack.
Well, back during World War I is where they really started the whole grenade thing, and yeah, they'd chuck grenades like you wouldn't believe.
It's like there's a bucket of grenades behind them, and they hook onto something that pulls the pin, and they just reach behind them with one arm, and then they're throwing with the other, and they just keep looping it back and forth. Like a machine of some sort.
I don't think it's quite like that, but they used to have like.
Just imagine that.
They have burlap sacks full of grenades, or like 4 grenades attached to each other.
Wouldn't those have been like anti-tank grenades, or?
They had several different types.
Okay.
Gateway opening. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
I didn't get to watch the full video of you and Rain reviewing the World War I movie.
Oh.
I did like catch the part where you guys said like World War I is like the forgotten war or whatever, or the forgotten generation.
Yeah, pretty much. It's also the lost generation because so many people got killed. One thing that's actually pretty depressing is the concept of the Pals Battalion. Like, all these friends would go, like imagine if we were all in the same geographic area, right? Well,
yeah, like maybe in, like, Texas or something.
Yeah, we'd all go sign up to go fight the Germans, and then we'd all die on day one.
Or, like, the fucking... Like, we go sign up to go fight against the fucking, I don't remember. It was the Allies and the Imperial?
Central Powers.
Central Powers, okay.
They were all pretty much empires. So, it's like, yeah, it's like we'd all go and we'd all die within, like, day one.
Do you know something
You
that
know what's funny?
horrible?
Like, what?
What if you went up to someone and asked them, "Do you know anything about World War One?" And then they respond, "Wait, there was a prequel to World War Two?"
Oh my god, there was a prequel? Oh my god.
Well, you know, millennials.
Oh my god.
And,
Like,
Oh, you have BFG, John.
yes. You know, actually, in my, fanfic, I had an idea for how to kill Darth, Sion, since he kept coming back to life. It would just shoot him with the BFG. And just vaporize him. Come back from that motherfucker. But what?
I imagine that worked easy. For anyone, honestly, that would work.
And then I had
That's
an
like
idea.
no question about it.
Then I had an idea of there's another enemy you have to face in that game, Darth Nihilus. So I was like, okay, how do you defeat him? Well, convince him to pick up the BFG to attack me, and then say hold down the trigger for 4 seconds. And that way he blows himself up.
Oh yeah. Hold down the trigger for 5 seconds. Hello, Amanda.
Hello.
There we go.
It's the big man himself. Well, the second big man with the podcast channel, and he does reviews and interviews, as I assume.
So what's going on?
I'm on the... Huh?
I just said what's going on. Oh, what, Dr.
Not
Weird?
much. I'm trying Discord on mobile, which is probably a very bad idea.
Well, if you're using...
You sound fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. That's not bad.
Yeah, you sound fine.
Dr. Weir turned into a bloody, not a revenant. What's the name of the thing that shoots the lightning? Or the fire?
The
Archvile, that's what he turned into.
Oh, Archvile. You're stupid, John, honestly.
Hey, fuck you, man.
No, you.
See,
Bog, here we go. Bog.
I'd make the illegal alien joke, but won't. Because then it can be used against me.
But they can because you're a person of color, so
Hey, yeah, that's right.
and to them, people of color can't be racist.
Yay, I've got the racist oh, wait, racist license? Okay, I think we won. I think. This looks really good. I mean, this is how you make an Event Horizon game. And we have successfully blown it up. Now, in the original Top 13 Deaths video, which I guess, since I've successfully completed...
Preview it, my boy.
Yeah, since I've successfully finished the mod, I'll go ahead and do that. But, when I first did it, I had the original clips, and so when, at the very end of Event Horizon, when Dr. Weir's like, do you see? I'd have, like, I had 2 movie posters show up. Star Trek V and, Matrix Revolutions. 2 utterly horrible films.
The first Matrix was the only one we needed, just saying.
See?
That's the only one we needed, honestly.
Yeah, and Matrix Revolutions, that's the last one.
That's such a bad movie. They didn't need to turn it into some fucking, like, weird sci-fi robot race thing.
But that's the way it went. Alright, so...
That's the way the cookie crumbled, I suppose.
Wait, can I shoot my way out of here? I don't get it. I'm like being set on fire. So this is like the sequel here of Event Horizon, I think.
That plasma rifle sounds like the Doom 64.
Yeah, this has some Doom...
Or PlayStation Doom 1.
Oh, I have to shoot him, I think. No? Okay, well, I'm shot that guy. Oh, they're all running...
Hey, John,
Wait, what?
John, have you ever seen the series Red Dwarf? It's an English series, so I'm not sure if you've heard of it.
Yeah, I have, but I've not actually watched any episodes of it. It's just something I'm aware of.
So maybe you weren't supposed to shoot those guys?
Well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I can't get out. So when in doubt, just... Oh, there we go. Oh, maybe I wasn't supposed to...
crouch, idiot.
Oops. Yeah, Red Dwarf, it used to come on the Sci-Fi Channel a couple of times. And I think I caught, like, maybe 1 or 2 episodes now that I think of it, but it didn't really stick with me that much, unfortunately. It's the same with, like, Doctor Who and stuff like that. I mean, I've watched a few things here and there, but never enough to get that good of a sense of it. Ironically enough, I ended up watching Private Dewey, huh? So we all know what he did later in life. I probably watched more of Lex than I have of Red Dwarf, and I think Red Dwarf is probably a better show than Lex.
Sam Neill.
Alright, so now we know what happened at the end of Event Horizon. We escaped. Somehow.
Somehow? Yeah, somehow.
Mental disorder, and he possibly sits and stares at the camera in a creepy fashion.
Oh no.
Okay.
It's a transgender kid with a strange mental disorder. Don't transgender people already have mental disorder?
Yeah, but more
Gender
so.
dysphoria.
Okay, so this is how this is the official sequel of Event Horizon. Now we know. One guy escaped and then blew up the Event Horizon. The end. I like that.
Wait, hang on.
And Event Horizon thankfully did not become a series at all and ended after 1 movie, which, can you imagine what Event Horizon 2 would have been like?
No, I can't imagine because I don't want to imagine that.
Alright, so I finished that, but I'm still going to go for another hour, but since you guys are all on the stream, I will go ahead and showcase I keep saying 13, I don't know why. 13 deaths.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a good game.
I like death.
Alright, so here we go. This is a little bit of background on this video. 2009 was the year I actually started doing the whole YouTube thing. So, I made the very first, let me make sure this is actually... Okay, there we go. Spoiler alert. Oh yeah, by the way, everything is spoiled in this. This spoils the endings of multiple movies and comics and books. So if you don't want to be spoiled, don't watch it. But I would have thought that, you know, 13 deaths, you know, you'd kind of get that there's going to be spoilers in that. You know, I didn't just, like, pick, you know, a red shirt that died. But anyway, I did a video on the 13 deaths that I thought were particularly memorable in fiction, be it movies, books, games. Well, no games, but movies, comics, and TV shows. The original video had me dressed up as the Grim Reaper. In fact, I even spray painted this tree trimmer black to look like a sickle.
You're stupid.
This video went up in 2009, but got taken down because I used the actual clips from the movies, and YouTube didn't like that. The sad part is the ending was actually kind of funny, but also was copyrighted because it showed me playing the song Frankenstein, complete with the little plastic Guitar Hero controllers. Hilarious. This is a remake of that video, sort of. It's sort of a reimagining. Many of the deaths that are on this that are on this remake were on the original, but there's some new ones to from more recent media. I still end up
reboot.
Yeah, more or less. Sadly, I don't jump around with the Guitar Hero controller simply because the Guitar Hero controller is in a box, and I don't know which box that's in. So kind of screwed on that one, but the ending's decent enough, I think. So I'm going to mute myself, and I will get it started. Today is All Hallows Eve, a day of reflection, a day of contemplation. Today we are taking a look at the top 13 heroic deaths, the top 13 individuals who faced their own Kobayashi Maru test and were not found wanting. The Kobayashi Maru, it tests the no-win scenario. It tests one's willingness to do whatever it takes to survive and potentially eke out a victory, to potentially close shut the jaws of oblivion. For how we deal with death is at least as important as how we deal with life. Number 13. Captain Catherine Janeway was charged with the monumental task of leading her crew of 150 souls across an expanse of 70,000 light-years. She faced many powerful foes, but none more powerful than the Crinum, a race of humanoids that mastered time itself. Through a year of hell, Captain Janeway was able to finally reach a position where she could destroy the Crinum's time ship. Left with only one option, Janeway crashes the starship Voyager into the Ship of Time, sacrificing her life and her ship to stop the mad menace of Anarax, the leader of the Crinum time ship contingent. She is so high on this list because, by destroying the time ship, she reset her year of hell and thus was once again alive. Number 12. Death of self is something we must all face. Dealing death to a foe is something far worse, for one must live with that choice forevermore. In the Star Wars Infinity's comic for Episode 4, Jedi Grand Master Yoda was left with an impossible task: take down the corrupt and cruel Galactic Empire. He does finally reach the pivotal moment, and on the Death Star high above Imperial Center, Yoda makes an impossible choice: crash the Death Star into Coruscant and decapitate the Imperial government with one swift stroke. In an instant, he sacrifices his life, and sadly, the lives of the Coruscanti. But he is able to remove the Imperial boot from the neck of the galaxy. Number 11. It was the final battle of the rebellion, and the future of a freer galaxy was dawning. It was the Battle of Endor, the final titanic clash between the Galactic Empire and the Alliance to restore the Republic. Thousands were dying on each side, and it seemed that the Empire might turn the tide and close shut the jaws of rebel oblivion. One man, a nameless and faceless A-Wing pilot, made a choice. He chose to sacrifice his life to save the rebellion. He chose to fly his A-Wing into the heart of the Executor-class Star Dreadnought, and he chose to crash his starship right into the bridge, thus disabling the vessel and causing it to crash into the Death Star 2. While others would live to get the glory, this one man faced his Kobayashi Maru and was not found wanting. Number 10. The outside context problem is always a considerable challenge to rectify. When a team of British soldiers were faced with the outside context problem of savage wolf-like bipeds that could infect humans with merely a bite, not one professional soldier was found wanting. Their leader, A1 Sergeant Wells, was bitten in the course of the hard-fought battle, and faced the loss of self due to the werewolf virus. Instead of succumbing, he performed one last act of heroism. He detonated some propane gas to not only give his last surviving squad member a fighting chance, he was also able to take out the wolf-like bipeds that had slaughtered his squad. He faced a no-win scenario, and took a victory from the jaws of defeat. Number 9. When looking into the literal jaws of defeat, it is the strong man who can keep fighting regardless. Stacker Pentecost and Chuck Hansen's Kobayashi Maru came at the very end of a long and bitter war against large-scale aggressors nicknamed Kaiju. The final 2 Jaegers were dispatched to close a dimensional rift, but before they could even reach it, a gigantic Category 5 Kaiju emerged and fought both Jaegers to a standstill. The original plan was to detonate a nuke in the rift to close it. When it appeared that the Category 5 Kaiju was too strong to take down conventionally, Stacker Pentecost and Chuck Hansen chose to give their lives for humanity, and thus they detonated the nuke and killed the Category 5 Kaiju known as Slattern. By facing their Kobayashi Maru and passing it, they gave humanity a fighting chance. Number 8. Hell contains horrors that can drive the strongest men mad. When the Starship Event Horizon tested its gravity drive, the starship went to hell and came back changed. It came back possessed by an entity of hell. When it returned from the Immaterium, the vessel Lewis and Clark, commanded by Captain Miller, was dispatched to investigate. One by one, the ship killed Miller's crew and later possessed the body of the starship's designer. In the final confrontation, Miller was able to maintain his sanity as the ship showed him image after image of hell. He was able to stop the vessel from dragging his last 2 crew members to the foul realm of darkness by detonating some charges meant to separate the bridge from engineering in case of an emergency. By sacrificing his life, he was able to give his final crew members a chance to live, and also ensure that humanity would be spared the depredations of chaos. Number 7. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the one. The mantra of the legendary Spock of Vulcan. He faced his Kobayashi Maru at the hands of the dread dictator Khan Noonien Singh. Khan was a 20th century dictator that was frozen in the 20th and thawed in the 23rd. After a decade of being marooned on a planet by Captain Kirk, Khan and his followers were able to capture a starship and seek revenge. They were able to damage the Starship Enterprise to the point where the warp drive remained offline. After the final confrontation, the Enterprise needs warp drive to escape an impending explosion. Spock gives his life by entering a chamber filled with radiation. He is able to fix the warp drive in time, but succumbs to radiation poisoning. Spock faced his Kobayashi Maru and ensured that while it was a no-win situation for him, it would not be for the Starship Enterprise. Number 6. It was the middle of a war that had consumed the entire Star Wars galaxy. The Jedi were one of the only groups stemming the tide. The foul Xenos species known as the Yuuzhan Vong were masters of genosculpting, and thus they created a creature that was designed exclusively to hunt down Jedi. Teenaged Anakin Solo and a team of Jedi took it upon themselves to hunt down the Manufactorum producing these abominations. The battle was hard fought, and eventually even the mighty Anakin succumbed to the increasing waves of Xenos scum. But on the final day of his life, he reaped a bountiful harvest, and ensured that the Jedi would live and that the galaxy would once again have a chance to live free. Number 5. A professional soldier knows that death may come for him in the prosecution of his duties. For Peter Preston, nephew of the great Montgomery Scott, death came for him sooner rather than later. When the dread Lord Khan attacked the Enterprise, he did so by striking where the Enterprise was weak. When others ran, Peter Preston stayed at his post and thus ensured that Captain Kirk had just enough power to hold off Khan and live another day. Peter Preston faced his Kobayashi Maru early in life, and did not shirk his duty. Number 4. The test of will that is the Kobayashi Maru can be solved in many ways. For Walt, he had to truly think outside the realm of traditional thinking. Towards the end of his life, Walt befriended a troubled youth and gave him a future. When the sister of his young friend was brutally and viciously attacked, Walt chose to fight in a way that would ensure that his young friends would not face death themselves, and thus he confronted the gang responsible for the attack. Instead of engaging them in combat, he sacrifices his life by allowing them to shoot him, thus ensuring that the gang will face considerable legal repercussions for their actions. When faced with certain death, Walt willingly took his Kobayashi Maru and was never once found wanting. Number 3. Kurt Reynolds faced many impossible challenges, and in an instant he was forced to take his Kobayashi Maru. Kurt Reynolds was a rebel with a domineering and dictatorial father. He chooses the path of the exile and leaves with his true love, only to be involved in an accident that leaves his love dead. Distraught, he uses a technologically advanced chemical to raise her from the dead. Sadly, the chemical reanimates her only as a shadow of her former self. Throughout their misadventures, her mind continues to degrade and her savage zombie side comes to the fore. In the end, both meet their final fates together by immolating themselves in a furnace, not only to end the pain of his love, but also to ensure that humanity is not threatened by a zombie apocalypse. Number 2. The midnight black beast that is the Xenomorph is a vicious and canny foe that has laid low numerous Yautja and human alike. It was on the Acheron colony that humanity got its second taste of the Xenomorph. Sadly, the colonists stood absolutely no chance. Upon their last stand, Newt's brother stood in defense of his mother and his sister and his species, and lo did he strike true and strike with precision against the foul Xenomorph, shooting one with a stub gun. Alas, he was immediately killed by the resultant acid splash, but his sacrifice ensured that his sister would live to fight another day. Only in death does duty end. And finally, number 1. The might of John Wayne is well known. He faced many foes throughout his long career, only to be brought low by the most insidious foe of all, cancer. And so in his final film, he portrays, ironically enough, an aging gunfighter named J.B. Books, who despite having laid low numerous gunfighters, is himself dying from cancer. In real life, John Wayne's cancer was actually in remission. Books puts his life in order throughout the film and acts as a mentor to a very young Ron Howard. In the end, he gathers several rough gunfighters that expressed a desire to test their mettle against him. The battle is arduous, but JB emerges triumphant. However, the bartender of the saloon wherein the battle took place cowardly shoots JB in the back. The young Ron Howard lays low the coward, but before he can take up the path of violence, he is warned from it by the dying JB Books. In the end, we must all face our Kobayashi Maru, and JB Books faced it with dignity and grace. And now, I must take my leave, and leave you all to contemplate your own lives. And may we... Alright. And so that was the top 13 deaths. Let's see. So that was the top 13 deaths.
Yeah.
Yes, let's see.
And
Apparently. And just in case if no one has noticed, the word of the day is Kobayashi Maru.
yes.
What does that mean? Like you're. What does that mean again? John?
I thought I was able to explain that better, but I realize that's probably something that not everyone's going to know, unfortunately. But I can't... But I'm not going to explain everything to everyone.
Fucking explain it to me right now, then, God.
Okay, well, Kobayashi Maru's a ship, and there's also a test from Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
Oh.
It's the no-win scenario. The idea is these deaths were the no-win scenario, and they died, you know, saving everyone, and that's what it was.
I thought Kobayashi Maru was like some Japanese thing
No.
that I don't know about.
No, it's not a weeb thing. Not everything's weeb, but, you know, that was a classic video remade in the modern era. So, I liked it. The original one was better, but it required you to actually know what I was talking about. This, I actually kind of explained what was going on. In the original one, I just kind of showed you things that were happening. You know, it's like, if you didn't know what Dog Soldiers was, like you never even heard of that movie, you know, you wouldn't know the importance of Sergeant Wells blowing himself up instead of turning into a werewolf, you know? It's like, if for some reason you didn't see Pacific... Well, actually, Pacific Rim hadn't come out in 2009, so that, of course, was not on the list. I don't know what was on the list for some of the things that were modern, you know? Because the new
Gran Torino?
that was on there. That was an original on there. Yoda's death was on there. Most of those were on there, including the Shootist. That was always going to be #1. What's kind of funny, though, is back then I was much less emotional about
that. That was your hate period.
Yeah, and back then it was like, well, yeah, Kirk did cheat, but that doesn't count. See, the thing is, though, Obi-Wan didn't have a very good death. He just kind of let himself die, whereas Yoda crashed the Death Star into another planet. Okay? But yeah, Gran Torino, that's an excellent movie, you know? That is one of those that...
I crashed the Death Star into other planets as often.
Well... What was that guy doing? But yeah, that is a comic I discovered quite by random, the Star Wars Infinities. It was one that I found at a random Barnes & Noble. And it was the best of the lot. Return of the Jedi, the Infinities for that one, is often remembered as well, because that's where you have Caucasian Vader.
Caucasian Vader?
Yeah, he survives the events of Return... Oh wait, this is spoiler alert. You know, I don't give a shit. No one's gonna read the comic. he survives the end of Return of the Jedi, and he starts helping the rebellion, right? And so they repaint his armor.
I guess to clean up the remnants of the
Empire. And they repaint his armor white because he's a good guy now.
Yeah, good guys.
Sadly, that was never followed up on. You know what I really hate about YouTube, among many things?
Everything.
The Star Wars channels are the most obnoxious things ever.
Yes, they are.
But like the pro Star Wars ones, the modern day Disney Wars.
Yes, they are.
It's like the day Darth Vader was so emotional. It's like, really? Come on! You sound like you sound worse than a weeb.
Like, is it game theory tiers of obnoxious?
I honestly, I don't actually watch the videos. I just see the titles and they annoy me without even.
Yeah, they also annoy me, at least, especially nowadays.
Dell XPS.
Yeah, they used to be good.
I want one.
Used to be. And then Mario's Evil came out, and then basically, Matt Fat Plap Slap met the Pope.
What?
I'm not kidding. There was like some sort of like thing, I guess, that involved Pope and peoples of multiple walks of life or some shit. And Matt Pat seriously gave like the Pope, like I'm assuming it's like a download key of Undertale or something. I don't know.
Wait, are you saying the Pope?
Yeah.
You know, the
Pope.
Pontiff. You know, the Italian guy. Actually, I don't think he's
Italian guy,
Oh,
yes.
I don't
Yes,
think he's
the
Italian.
Vatican.
Vatican Pope.
Okay, so he gave him some kind of thing?
Well, yeah.
How do you do this? I don't think you can even get close to him.
Special ceremony of some kind. It's been a long time ago.
I'm sorry, it's just like the special game giving ceremony. I don't think the Pope has like a Steam account.
I don't think he does, honestly. Oh my god, I'm so good at COD 4.
Wow, anyone? Wow.
The top 13 deaths. I don't know. It's kind of a niche thing, but I'm glad I was able to remake that. Even though now I'm not so obsessed with death anymore, so it doesn't even matter.
Wow.
You were obsessed with death at one point?
Yeah, it's like I might as well have had like mascara and black clothes on at that point.
You might as well have been emo.
Might as well
Yeah.
be Marilyn Manson, except less cool.
Okay, well, maybe not that bad, but no, it's like 2009. I was like, I hope one day I can die as good as these people. It's like,
My god. It's like,
That's
I guess...
cringy.
I know.
Yeah.
I was like in my early, my early 2009. How old would I have been? If in 2007 I was 18, 19, 20, I was 20. Haha. So I don't.
Ah.
So yeah, I can get away with that. Okay, there are people that like get their dicks cut off. So I didn't do that.
Why?
That's the joke.
Okay.
No, people, the transgender people, not transgender, but transgender, the ones that are trying to
Trender.
Oh, I thought it was Tinder. Well, whatever. You know what I mean. Those people that do it for attention. At least I didn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, at the very least you didn't become Riley Dennis, for all I care.
So, yeah.
It's sexist to not date someone with a dick.
But
It's
that's
sexist to not date a transgender.
how I was back
Yeah, sure.
then, okay? I was like, the best deaths are their own rewards. I would not have said that because that's actually anachronistic. That's from a movie that wouldn't come out until 2012, 13, 11. That's from that Superman movie that everyone hated, that I actually liked.
Man of Steel.
Superman Returns, or
No,
oh.
Man of Steel.
Really?
Yes.
I did not...
There's-
Okay.
There is no way I could have said a good death is his own reward, because that movie wasn't out yet, and I'm not that original.
But also, I guess, to be semi-fair, Angry Joe liked Man of Steel.
Okay,
As far as
well, that's not a very good endorsement.
Well, yeah, exactly. Especially nowadays.
Yeah, Angry Joe's was relevant.
Yeah.
But then he went nuts or something.
I swear he referred to Battlefield 5 as the Battlefield 5 series.
I know, I heard that.
That
It's
triggered me.
The Battlefield 5 series. So it's like Battlefield 5 X1, X2, X3.
Like the Mega Man X series.
Well, Battlefield 5 series. There's Battlefield 5 1, well 2, Battlefield 5 3. I especially like Battlefield 5 5.
No, it's X5. You see, it's like the well. The reason I always make that joke about X is because Final Fantasy did number that. There was literally a Final Fantasy 10, 2 instead of 11.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
13 Part 2.
Oh,
I feel like
You know what's funny?
What?
There was what was it? Back in like 2009, they had been teasing it since like 2008 or 9. It was Final Fantasy 13 Versus or Final Fantasy Versus 13. And eventually, it had been in development hell for ages. And eventually, when it was shown off at like E3 2013, for, like the PS4 and stuff, like something in the trailer in Japanese said, "But it is now time for the 15th coming," and it ended up becoming Final Fantasy 15.
The 15th coming. Well, I gotta get started.
15th coming, and it has a sports car.
Oh, but the Final Fantasy series is so weirdly numbered, it seems. Final Fantasy 10-2, is it? Versus 2, Final Fantasy 13 Lightning, so it's like the Battlefield 5 series. Battlefield 5, 2, X2. I don't even know.
They literally cannot stop me, yeah.
And
Battlefield 5, 27, the IRA, but it's female only.
Same time I started back in 2014. Started to watch me in 20... Oh, okay, extra mana. See ya. You just gotta speak up. Just talk over. You got to be aggressive. Just say, shut the fuck up. And let me speak. So yeah, Theta, shut the fuck up and let me speak.
No, you.
But, yeah. See, 2014 was a bad year to start. I mean, that's like... Just going along...
2014 was like one of the worst years in gaming.
Just going along, I was making all kinds of videos, and then, oh... Life. Just, okay, 2014, I had no clue that Gamergate was a thing. I didn't care. And, yeah, it's like... But hey, you got, Wolfenstein The New Order. That's a great game. It actually is.
That was like the only good game in 2014.
There's Dark Souls 2, which I hoped was good.
You hope.
Dark Souls 2. I remember when some of the hype was getting started about it. It's like, might be easier. No, it's harder, and it's stupidly harder because you permanently lose health the more you die. Because...
Wait, you lose health the more you die?
Yeah, you haven't played that?
I've never played Dark Souls.
Noob.
I'm more of a fan of Ninja Gaiden.
No, I'm still just saying noob just to be an asshole. But
incidentally, one of my friends has played Dark Souls, beat all the main bosses, and he hated the game. So, hey, yeah, he actually beat the game, but he didn't like it. That was the thing.
Non-weeb. I don't even know. I'm just gonna make random accusations. The NPC thing. I find the meme to be a bit offensive because Mazoga the Orc was really, really, really amazing. And calling Mazoga the Orc as bad as, some of these people is just terrible. Now, if you've never played Oblivion, you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Is the Count? Are you the Count? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, look
You're
at that.
not the Count.
See, look, she's got a soul, She's got intelligence. These average SJWs don't have either one.
Yeah, she can tell that you're not the Count.
Yeah, Mazoga 2020, man. I'd vote. I'm with her.
I didn't even play Oblivion, and I know. Are you the Count? All because of the OpenGL podcast.
Oh, well.
So, So you're welcome.
I guess they're good for something.
Yeah.
You know, all I'm gonna say is Mazoga the Orc 2020. Okay.
Man, Mazuka versus Kanye in 2020 election. Man, that's gonna be rough.
I'd vote for her because she's green, and thinks I'm a pal.
She's a green woman.
I mean,
What about? Why are we talking about Kanye? What?
I wasn't talking about cognac.
Remember, we're meeting at the maintenance entrance.
Adoring fan versus Kanye. You know, I don't know. It'd be hard to choose which one would be the most annoying. You know, I'd probably have to side with Kanye simply because annoying fan.
Yes.
The only thing you can do is chuck him off a cliff to get him to stop
And
following
considering
you.
he's actually kind of smart, in the sense of like, well, he's not a stupid lib,
Correct, to a degree.
Yeah,
so
actually.
he'd be a better choice, honestly, on that front alone.
The replica activity in the building.
That's not a good. That's not. That's what we've come to today. That's the best we get.
We still don't know what we're
OpenGL podcast. I actually kind of want to bring that back in November, but I stopped doing it because I didn't want to do it. Although the real reason is actually even dumber than that, but I don't know if I want to detain anyone with that knowledge.
What was the real reason?
See, you're not supposed to ask that, but
Tell me.
see, the real reason was I didn't want to have any friends
You were lazy.
anymore, and so it's like I don't want to talk to anyone because
Oh, that was your depressing period.
yeah. So what can I say? So it's like I don't want more friends. Look what happened the last time. Now it's like okay, let's get back to doing shit like OpenGL and all the rest.
Oh my god.
What can I say? I probably have a bit of emo in me, so I gotta get my mascara out.
Yeah.
I gotta put on some Linkin Park, you know.
I tried so hard, but I got so far. In the end, it doesn't even matter. Yeah.
Yes. You know, I did have an emo shirt when I actually became full-fledged emo for about 2 months. And I actually went to emo bar at an emo concert. And I'm talking like, okay, the music that they played at the emo concert was made Linkin Park look, you know, like a playground. I don't even know what I'm trying to say when I say that, but like, man, like Darth emo, like emo god, like Marilyn Manson wishes he was that emo. Let me put it that way. Oh man, I was trying to find some of that music. Oh.
What?
No, okay. Now the thing is, these people are halfway decent musicians, but like when you think of emo, oh man.
Marilyn
Halfway-
Manson?
What are we talking
This emo bar I went to around 2014. Oh man, this was brilliant. There's a picture that probably survives of me on Facebook dressed like this. There's a band I never listened to them before that called Lamb of God. I had that.
Oh, them.
I had that shirt on, right? This little wrist thing that I literally got from Hot Topic.
Oh my god.
And these emo bands, they weren't bad. They sounded pretty good, but it's like they got the guys dancing around. He's got like a cigarette in his mouth. It's like, my god. It's like an emo singularity.
No singularity.
Oh. Outdoor Adventures Hut.
Why is this guy still camping up here?
Oh man, but you know, it's a happy memory though because it's silly, but thankfully it's nothing bad. It's not like I got shit faced and like ran over like an old lady and her dog. You know, I don't have to say that. I could say like I didn't even drink there either because I don't drink. So, but that was just that's funny to think that I was out there dancing around to Mr. Cigarette Guy. Oh, what was the name of some of those bands? Oh, Epic, Dell Gaming PC, right? XPS, I want one. No, I almost got an XPS, but I ended up saving my money for a real computer.
Good work, Sergeant. Second floor's open.
Oh, what was the name of those bands, though? Like, oh, I just remembered one. Google New Year's Day. Even the name is silly.
Sergeant, we're taking
Oh, just do it. Just do it. See, I might... Used to be, like, old me would never even bring that up. You know, I almost wonder what old me would think of new me. You know, like me circa 2009 when I made the original Top 13 Deaths. What would he think of me now? Would he think, like, you became a pussy, man? Like, you totally betrayed our principles, dude. He wouldn't say anything like that. I know that for a fact. I had way too much of a rod welded to my spine at the time.
That's an interesting way to put a stick up your ass.
Well, no, it went beyond that. It was literally welded to the spine. Okay.
Yeah, I know. That's what I meant.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean, but no.
Yeah.
It's not so much that it was a stick up my ass. It was literally beyond that, and went and welded to my spine. What I'm saying is, it went further than just the ass part. Like, it literally went all the way up, and then was welded to the base of the spinal column. Okay, that's how far it was at the time. And the funniest thing is, I was proud of that.
You were proud to have a rod fused to your spine?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Because it was like, well, I'm just better than everyone else.
So you were a very, very mad boy.
Yeah, well... All I could say is, if ever I met, like, a time-displaced version of myself, I would probably end up saying something like, what old Batman ended up saying to, his younger self. In that Justice League animated series episode. Was I ever that green? And the answer is yes. I was. But see, I bet he'd probably think like, you weren't green, you actually knew what you were doing. You're a fool. You are a fool.
John, you are dumb.
Is he really...
You're a fool.
Is he really throwing 2 grenades? What an asshole.
Yes, he is an asshole.
John, you retard.
Oh no.
John, you retard.
Retard. Cut the bebop. The rebop. There we go. the cowboy rebop.
Cowboy Rebop, only on Toonami.
Hey, that's why I got that poster up there. And tell you to weld the rod back on? Yeah, he'd probably say that. I wouldn't have said degenerate back then. I probably would have said, you became normal. You became like all those other... Because I couldn't swear back then because I thought it was beneath me. Yes, that's
You're
true.
stupid, John.
I did not... I never would say the word fuck or shit or ass or any of the other swears, you know.
Wow, you're stupid.
And so it'd be like, listen to how you speak now. What happened to you? And I also sounded way more like uptight instead of like the way I do now.
Yes,
it's
you
like,
did, actually. Yes, you did.
It's like, look at you. You became one of them because you wanted to be popular.
Let's get this bread. Let's acquire the grain, eat us the wheat, and trust us with the crust.
Oh my god.
It could have gotten that bad. Used to be Amish. No, not that bad, but...
Wait, what do you mean? Who used to be Amish? What?
No.
Who? What?
No,
Why?
Jacques was joking. Used to be Amish. You just say Battlestar Galactica words. Yeah, I don't think I said crunt, but I do know I said frag, frack, and frill.
Friggin' frick.
God. It's like, just say
Black
that.
Fuck up.
Black crack.
It's whack. And then
Black crack is whack. My god.
And then you whack in the adult movie theater and then you lose your career. But whatever.
Yeah. Let's make sure that never happens.
But yeah.
Seriously. You know that, Mario, you know that Dark Kermit meme?
Yeah, I think.
That's literally what I'm imagining right now with, like, past John versus Kermit.
Yeah. But he'd be like, you know, I don't want to be... I'm not going to be normal. I'm not going to talk to these people.
What the fuck is normal? What's normal?
Normal can mean anything. Or it could have meant anything to me back then, you know? So, it just depended on my mood that day. It was just... It's kind of funny, you know? It's funny now, but, man... I must have been quite an asshole to be around back then. It's like... I cannot swear because it is beneath me. I am too good to swear. You are primitive, sir. I can just picture like myself giving like this really, you know, long-winded speech of like, you have to return to the side of intelligence or something. It's like, you shouldn't say this stuff or do these things. It's like, it's important to keep self. And you know what I would say today to my young self? I'd be like, dude, just relax.
Chillax.
Oh man, if I did that, I can't imagine. You'd just probably explode.
Explode.
Like, did you say chillax? Have you really lost yourself to that point?
You know what? Maybe young John would have been a social justice warrior.
No. My politics haven't changed. No. That's the one thing I'll defend my young self. Oh, no.
Okay, thank God.
My politics have been exactly the same since literally ever, so... See, the thing is, most of the people who have, like, this very high level of slavish devotion to, like, government has never had government do something bad to them, you know?
What was it? What did it do bad to you?
Well, you know, nothing particularly terrible, but, like, you know, there was a time...
Nearly kill you.
No, nothing like that, but it's like...
You had CIA agents at your house and they tried to kill you.
No, but I was paranoid for a while that the government would, like, try to take me away from, like, my mother, because that was after, that Elian Gonzalez thing happened, so I was like, they're gonna come and try to take me... Well, okay, let me explain. There was a kid named Elian Gonzalez, whose mother came from Cuba. The father wanted the kid to come back to Cuba, which is a communist dictatorship, but whatever. And then the government decided to take the kid and send him straight to a communist dictatorship where he remains to this day. And as a kid, seeing that, I was like, they're gonna try to do that to me.
Because I'm caramel.
Yes. But there's no way that could have ever happened.
So what was the legitimate thing that got you concerned?
Oh, well, when I realized that people can lie, well, that's an easy thing.
Hold on.
What ended up happening is my mother and I moved to a different place around 1995, and the school didn't support where we were living. You know, because like, you had to be in the right school zone and stuff like that. And I was like, oh yeah, we live over here. Just blithely talking to somebody. Next day, it's like, well, you know, we're going to need to expel them from the school because you don't live in the right area. It's like, what? I didn't think there was a problem with mentioning that. It's like, oh, they don't care about the people. It's just you better be in the right area, otherwise, guess what? And that was where I started to really start questioning stuff. So I was probably like 8 or 9. That's when you learn that you don't really trust those in authority because they're not there for you. Yeah. They're there for the organization. And I never really watched that much Fox News. Fox News is not as bad as people would say it is if you actually watch it. It's kind of funny.
That is so true. Like, there is literally... Oh my god.
Well,
the things people claim about Fox News is actually hilarious.
Yeah, because it's like they'll say like they're inciting violence. That's not true. They're really biased, obviously, but...
Well, no shit. They're a news network.
But they're not like saying, go out and kill all the brown people. Wait, does that mean I have to like cut myself in half or something? But anyway, they're not saying that. They never have. It's the same way with like, what's his name? That guy on the radio. He was like on Family Guy once.
The guy on the radio. Rush Limbaugh?
Yeah, that guy. I've actually listened to some of his stuff. He's not like... I had somebody even say he was a hate monger. It's like, well, I don't know what radio show they were listening to, because he wasn't really doing any of that.
That's a funny thing to say, honestly.
Yeah.
That's a really damn good meme, honestly.
It's just...
Good meme, 10 out of 10.
But yeah. I didn't actually live like in permanent fear, but it was something I was concerned of until it was obvious that wasn't going to happen. But like, you're a kid, you see that happen. It's like, you know, it could happen to you. It's a concern. I mean, I kind of feel sorry for that kid, you know, because communist dictatorship.
Yeah.
That's bad.
I wonder, like, would the liberals support that because he's going to a communist country, or no, because he's being deported?
In the 90s, I think the excuse was the parent rights, the parental rights of the father to have the kid live with them, which With today's... Think about this in today's world. That very concept, you know, with how stacked against males the courts are. But back then, you know, there you go. And I think they also were kind of happy to send it to a communist country. Because for whatever reason, they liked that back then and today. But parental rights, it's really quite a joke when you think about it, just with what's going on. And see, for me, I don't consider myself either right or left. I have some right-leaning beliefs, but there's some left-leaning beliefs as well. You know.
Oh, Storm. Why is he back?
Let's see. Oh, is he back? I mean, I think I muted him because he had a lot of stuff in the background.
Yeah, he is.
All right.
Kind of. He still has stuff on, like the background.
I'm still at my college.
Oh.
No.
I don't hear enough chanting though.
Chanting? There's no chanting.
Oh.
Are you at that damn Antifa meeting that I told you not to attend?
High Point under my pillow. High Point didn't exist yet
No.
when that happened.
Storm, I told you not to go to that freaking Black Antifa meeting. God damn it.
You missed quite a bit, Corey. You got to. I did a.
Psycho.
I did a preview of the top 13 deaths in fiction, and just talking
I'll be
about
back.
random
Top
stuff.
13 deaths in real life. #1, my death.
Wow.
And I was talking about how back in 2009 when I did the original top 13 deaths, I was like, the most emo whoever emoed it up. It was like, I hope I can die as well as these people. I'm not even joking. That's how it happened back then. Because emo. And terrified of global warming. You know, I never really... I get that global warming can be a thing, but by the time it became really heavily advertised, I'd already been studying changes in temperature over time periods to the point where I could kind of see through.
That happens over a period of time, yeah.
Yeah.
Earth has a fluctuating climate over a period of thousands of years.
And
Don't say that. They'll hunt you down.
And the big thing is, when somebody's saying you can't question, that's what I just want to question even more, because it's like, okay, wait a minute. You're telling
The
me...
thing is, you know what's interesting too, John? We're overdue for another ice age.
Yeah, so... And they were saying that in the 70s, like, yeah, there's going to be another ice age, and then a decade later, it's like, oh, it's going to... the sea levels will rise. By 2010, the coastlines will be underwater. I remember that happening. I remember like it was yesterday.
Yeah, me too. Then we all cleaned it up in just 8 years.
Wasn't there
under a year.
Wasn't there like a game or something that had like global warming as like a plot point, or at least like a reason? Oh, not reasonable, but
I don't know.
Fracture, was Fracture a game that was like about?
No, it wasn't. Fracture's different.
About.
But I saw on the website about sea levels rising in that game's universe or some shit.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have to get off because I've got some shit to do.
Alright.
Well, the stream's gonna end in a minute anyway, because I gotta go eat me some food.
And what are you gonna do
eat.
afterwards?
What you gonna eat? Pizza?
No, that's Friday. No, today is Friday. No, today's
Today's Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday, pleb.
Oops.
Happy Halloween.
No.
Happy spooky day.
Literally, I'm just going to throw some pecan smoked sausage and eat some of that.
Anyways, I'm gonna go eat.
See ya.
No, it's it. So, the space age of 2003, half of North America shall be underwater. Yeah, so I'm like half Mexican and half Caucasian. And the Caucasian bit is this aggregate of a variety of things. And there's a little tiny hint of Native American from Oklahoma. I don't know exactly which tribe or anything, but that is what the family records suggest. Well, they don't suggest, they actually legitimately say. That's also where I get the trait of having the squinty eyes. The squinty eyes that everyone loves to talk about. That's not Asian, it's there. So yeah. The squinty-eyed tribe, whoever those people are.
What took your ass so long to get here?
So
Those are the Chinese.
Wait for that turret there. Dead.
Like, you say yourself, like some people mistaking you for Chinese.
Oh yeah, people do that all the time. Still more than Elizabeth Warren.
Apartment in here. Chen, I want
Inatech or Intratech. Yeah, I never. Actually, I haven't heard of them.
Intertech. Wait, aren't those the guys that made the Tech 9 or something?
Oh yeah, that is them. I forgot about that.
Fucking nowhere. Took out most of my crew.
But
How are you three gonna take them on?
yeah, it's actually quite hilarious though that most people don't figure out what I am or not. That's why whenever people talk about racism and crap, it's like, I gotta tell you, despite not looking 100% white, you know, I haven't faced any evil whitey supremacy. So yeah. So yeah, where is it? I don't... Could it be that they're lying? How horrible. What time is it?
Oh, no.
It's 5:06. Okay, how long have I been going? Have I been going 3 hours? Okay, I'll go for another 15 minutes, but I actually am pretty hungry, because it's 5 o'clock my time, and that's generally when I devour the flesh of animals.
You can't say that.
Well, all I can say is I've never been vegan, nor have I wanted to be.
Yeah, me too.
Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's a perfectly valid lifestyle choice. Oh, yeah, I finally got, thanks to Rage Kill, I now have Double Dragon Neon and Friday the 13th, the game. So we shall see.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I've never been made fun of for how I look. Now, I have had people... Ooh, he got his throat cut. I have been bullied by people who say I didn't act Mexican enough. How you do that, I'm not entirely sure. I guess you gotta have like a poncho and a sombrero on or something to be Mexican enough. But, yeah.
You're not Mexican enough.
You
do.
That happened. Ironically enough, though, the people that had said that actually ended up becoming not friends but friendly later in my life. So there was that. So I guess that
Why
ended.
though?
I can only assume they matured. So there's that.
Who says they're not? Well, who? Okay, never mind, because that actually sounds kind of disingenuous when I say it.
Wait, what?
Well, I was about to call them NPCs.
Wait, what?
I was about to call them liberals.
Oh. There probably weren't. You gotta remember that when it comes to, like... It's really... The term liberal and leftist is very different from one another. That's why I generally don't use the term lib anymore. Because there are people who are liberals but aren't leftists, so... That's the one thing that I always try to remember, you know? So, Sonny, you look Mexican. I don't know what you look like, so I couldn't tell you one way or another. I can't figure it out from the name. Portuguese. You know, I don't actually know what a Portuguese person would actually look like. I don't think I've actually seen one in real life. Although I do know that nearby where I used to live in Houston, that there was a church that spoke Portuguese. So evidently there is a suitable population of Portuguese people. Went to the U.S., asked for a custom form, they gave me a Spanish one. Well, hola, indeed. Okay, what am I waiting for? What's going on here? Asian guy, you know, dude with a mask, random guy, wounded people, anything?
I don't know.
Door doesn't work. Ah, well, since I can't get out, I think it's a good place to call it. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed the final horror review. Or not the horror review. Whatever, you know what I mean.
Horror video.
Horror video. I'm gonna go get me some delicious food, and I shall see you guys later.